Good afternoon, everybody. It's been an amazing season, but on this warm and kind of sweaty, now I can say summer? I don't know, or summer next month, Morgie. I don't know month, Southern Hemisphere. It's confusing, but it's the final week of AEL. My name is Max. Morgie, how's your week been, first of all?
Busy, but busy is always good. We love a busy week. And I was going to say the week's topped off with some exciting Rocket League content, but I guess we're only halfway through the week. So in for an exciting Wednesday, I would say.
I don't think busy is always good. I think busy sometimes can be infuriating as new computer, which means new broadcast, which means new hype. And what a day to kind of put it all together, because it is, as mentioned before, our final day of the regular season. And with still one more playoff spot on the line, 3 teams all in contention for it, today is going to be very exciting in that regards.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think, ultimately, there's still the potential for a tiebreaker in the mix here. We've got 3 teams that are locked into the playoffs, but we've got that one spot left that will be decided tonight. And I feel like there's 3 teams in the mix potentially for that spot. So it's gonna be really, really keen to see how tonight plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get too deep into it, as always, another amazing season equals more amazing sponsors. You can see them down below right now at the bottom of the screen. But, Morgie.
Of course. Yeah, none of this is possible without our amazing sponsors. So first, of course, as you can see below, we have AGON by AOC, the Gaming Monitor partner, who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And of course, we have Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or, of course, at indomie.com.au.
Again, big shout out, big thank you to both of them. They've each been with us all season long, just as our 8 teams have been. And as we take a look at our standings going into the final week, we can see atop that ladder, New South Wales, UON, Griffith University, all secured their spot in the playoffs. But between QUT, UTS, and UCID, one more spot is there for the taking. And when you have, 2 of those teams about to do battle in our very first game, Morgie, it makes things super exciting.
Oh, absolutely. It's been really tight the entire season, but to still have 3 teams in contention for that final spot is huge. And as Formal has just said, our first match will be very indicative of how that's going to play out. We have QUT versus UCID. UCID sitting 6th on the ladder. They had a bit of a rough start to the season, but they still have an opportunity. I think if they beat QUT, and UTS would have to lose to ANU for UCID to have an opportunity to go to the tiebreakers, for the opportunity for that spot.
I'm sure there's some mathematical calculation. Producer man BK is already on it. The whiteboard has all of the formulas written down, ready to be plugged in, depending on which way it goes. But yes, if you're here to figure out who those top 4 are going to be, well, you want to be here at the start of the evening and at the end of the evening. But let's not forget that third match as well. New South Wales versus UON. Our top 2 teams on the ladder, they're going to be going at it as well. Could be a grand final preview. Could have some seeding implications as well if Griffith gets that win. But our first match, QUT UCID, let's take a look at the lineups.
So we've got, of course, on QUT's side, we do have our main roster being Mac, Jacko, and Front. We didn't have our main roster last week, so it'll be interesting to see with the original squad back how they can perform tonight. As we've already mentioned, this match is do or die for both of these teams. QUT wants to lock in this win so they can lock in their spot in the playoffs. UCID want to cause the upset. They want to take this to a tiebreaker week, and they want to win this. We've got Cabilio, Cecilio, and BkWhatOCE. Again, our main roster on the UCID side as well.
Yeah, it is. A lot of familiar faces, obviously. UCID's lineup always kind of changing around, but for QUT, last week they had to run a sub. Didn't quite look their strongest, but Mac and Jack, that connection is back. Front probably will be able to kind of settle back in more into that third-man role where they have felt most comfortable in the past, and maybe QUT will be in a stronger form. They're going to have to be. It's not necessarily winning in. Tiebreaks can get a little bit confusing with UTS. I'll have to double-check on what the actual result is there, but if they lose, it becomes a lot more difficult for them. So both of these teams needing the win quite desperately as we get geared up and ready to go. UCID It's a long shot, but they still have a chance. QUT, they would love to stay that one game ahead and put the pressure back onto UTS at the end of the day. But here we go, 5 minutes on the clock. Game 1 is underway.
It'll be interesting to see, Formal, how last week's momentum carries through to this week. I think the interesting thing being that last week QUT did lose, but they lost to UNSW, being the top team on our leaderboard. So, that game is a bit of a hard ask to win anyway. And UCID won last week, but they were versing, unfortunately, our bottom team, the latter being UOM. So, again, I feel like those games kind of played out the way we thought they would. But then that gives UCID a little bit of momentum going into this week because they had a win last week.
Yeah, exactly. And he's always wanting to build on it. Glass pass to Cabilio. Good pass and shot. 2v1 goes in favor of the 2. And just like that, UCID is out in front first.
Just some classic Rocket League here, Formal passing play to get the goal, throws off the defender. In that situation, do they challenge the potential shot? Do they challenge the pass? Just really good classic Rocket League. Great start for UCID.
Yeah, and what I was super impressed from that UCID approach again was, how textbook it was. You can argue that it's a fundamental pass, and that's kind of what, a 2v1 attacking side of Rocket League should look like. However, it's not always executed the cleanest, especially here in, AEL. So that's the kind of form from UCID that could get them through potentially if they can keep it up. However, UT as a team, they're more known for their attack than they are for their defensive stance. And if it's going to be a high-scoring game, which I think QUT would prefer, I would expect them to bounce back.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think on any usual week, on any given week, I would say that QUT has the stronger and, I guess, more stable playstyle. And I would expect those kind of textbook passing plays to come out of QUT more so than UCID. So I think it's really interesting that UCID have come out of the gates immediately with some really solid play. And if they can manage to keep this up, I think they're a very decent shot at winning this week.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because Cabilio, again, tries to play setup role using the backboard. So definitely UCID coming into this one were maybe a bit more priority on the team than for the individual plays. Not that, one is necessarily better than the other. It's just what you might feel more comfortable with on the spot. Mac with the demo sets up Jack, and that's a little bit more of the QUT attack I expect to see. A lot of physicality between Mac and Jacko, a lot of, strong strikes afterwards. It doesn't result in a goal this time, though, because there were too many defenders back.
Yeah, definitely, but we're going to see a shot now out of sight. Unfortunately, front was there, right, in perfect place, perfect time to get that save on the ball. Ball's going to go back UCID's way, but Mac gets the block on the sidewall as well. Vilio manages to collect the ball, shot from front, although it goes a little bit too high.
A little high and wide that time around. Mac will try to slow things down mid-pitch. Gets it up to front. Has Jacko just underneath. Don't connect this time. Sai now. Gets underneath. Jacko with the dunk. No goal just yet, though. Defense from Glass does hold on.
Does hold on just indeed to make sure that ball didn't go in, but we're still seeing QT on the attack. Jacko fakes out one defender. Max still manages to be control of the ball, though. We're going to see Cabilio try his challenge on the wall. We've got a shot free for UT, but it's saved again.
Cabilio cross to Glass. They're going to make contact off the backboard. No one's underneath. 3 minutes passing in this game, and it's been, well, pretty back and forth. An early goal for the UCID side. The only kind of big moment. Haven't seen too many threatening touches come from QUT. In fact, only 3 shots aside with only a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, the play isn't seeming too dangerous for either side right now. I feel it actually feels quite tame. There's just been a lot of back and forth, a lot of quick challenges as well. No one really taking major control of possession of the ball right now. You see Julio take the ball to the side. Again, we're just seeing the ball go loose and no one having that possession.
Sai takes advantage of a double commit. This could be an opening for UCID, although they're not able to get the bump on Jacko, who will slow it down. Allows Mac in front to be able to rotate back, but still Jacko keeps possession all the way through to the opposite end. Front's looking for demos, not going to find it. Cabilio took possession away regardless, and under a minute to go, QUT still unable to put through a threatening touch.
Yeah, definitely, but I have to say that was a beautiful save from Mac. Really, really well controlled there. Managed to get the pre-clip just in time to save the ball before there was much of an opportunity for a shot. Jacko now air dribbling, gets the flip reset, one touch, manages to hit the ball to the side. No one there to take the shot off.
Two whiffs, and no one from QUT takes advantage of it on the UCID side. That was a little bit awkward. And now Mac with a chance, makes a defender miss, flick off the post, falling from front, not there. Biker Class will sweep through with the save, and that may have been QUT's last opportunity.
Oh my god, Biker Glass, what control just then? What, I'm trying to think of what. Oh, come on. Never mind, we're going to see the score equalized with 7 seconds left, and Formal, I think this is going to go to OT.
Front may have just saved this, I want to say game at least, but, you know, the first game often sets the tone for the series. Either way you want to look at it. Much required goal, 7 seconds remaining, the double touch is good, and now we're looking at a game 1 OT.
And definitely a very, very clutch shot from front. And I think you're definitely right, Formal. That, if that had not happened for QUT, I feel like you're right, it would have set the tone for this series. It would have put QUT down by a game with I guess a rough start to the series. Wouldn't have been.
We'll see how they recover from it. Cabello gets underneath. First overtime, game number 1 in this must-win series for both of these teams. They each kind of need that win, you would have to think, to keep themselves in the playoff race. Biker Glass will try to cross things up. Mac gets behind it. Now actually has some space to work, but Cabello has the speed, as Mac was a bit too slow. Possession being held by UCID early.
Yeah, front, perfect positioning on the backboard there to be able to control the ball in defense. See Mac looking for the pass to front, but front without any boost can't do anything in it. It's going to get challenged early. Again, another pass from, to Mac on the sidewall, a shot from Jacko, but Biker Glass did it.
I like these big deep passes though from QUT. They're actually connecting on him, and now an opportunity because there is no boost on the UCID side. QUT, they've got to take advantage until the defense can reset. Side's going to get a full boost. Has to use it to press forward mid-challenge. Doesn't get there, so 2 defenders, still no boost. Still no pressure being put on him though. A super passive QUT, and I feel like that was a missed chance.
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely an opportunity that QUT could have taken advantage of there. Instead, the ball has just been passed straight back to UCID, and they're able to take it back down their offensive end. Michael Glass going to keep the ball alive for their offense right now. Cabello takes the ball to the sidewall, but again, Front's there to defend.
Yeah, Front's going to keep playing it off that sidewall. Challenge against Cabello will go in their favor briefly. Sai going to do a deep lobber. Mac goes back. Ball down in the corner, at least for now. Front versus Cabello, sees Cabello take it. Mac's going to try to go up to challenge. Reset. Second reset, not quite. Ball gets to the backboard, and now Jacko's going to try to go the distance. Sai shuts it down. Nearly 2 minutes into this OT. Cabello with the dunk, but it goes wide. Or does it?
You can tell the pressure is on with this game. You can tell that QUT want this win. They want their position in playoffs to be secured. And obviously UCID are absolutely fighting for their lives right now. We finished last week with UCID thinking they actually didn't have an opportunity to still make it into the playoffs. So to have that kind of second chance or a second attempt at making it into the playoffs is huge.
We'll see if they're going to be able to piece it together, as we're going to see a shot from Biker Glass. Mac is there, and we'll look to push it out of the box. I mean, this overtime has been a lot more pressure from the UCID side, but they haven't just been able to get that final touch. Maybe it comes from this attack. Oh, it was a late dunk, but it still winds up going wide. Sai doing what he can. Cabello and Biker Class are going to tighten their spacing. They want to keep the pace low. Shots on. Front makes the save.
Minutes and minutes and minutes have gone by without a goal. Formal. Like we were saying, UCID managed to score very early on in this match. And there was a goal from QUT. What is happening? The ball just doesn't want to go in either net. We've had so many shots on both ends at this point in the game. The game is absolutely warmed up. We're seeing a lot of fire out of both sides right now, but the ball just won't go in.
I don't know how that one didn't slip through. It looked like Sai was going to be the one-man army, but unfortunately for the UCID side, won't get the goal. Now Cabello, next one with a chance. This one hits its mark, and game number 1 goes to UCID.
Game number 1 goes to UCID. Formal. That is huge. Like we said, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a potential upset tonight. Or I guess I'd call it an upset if we manage to go to not the knockouts, the tiebreakers next week. If UCID win this, if they manage to hold this over QUT and UTS lose later, then we're going to tiebreakers.
Yeah, that's a crazy thought right there as well. Tiebreak,
Wow.
of course, would be happening next week, and it would not be streamed, so it'd be one of those situations where you have to, check AEL and all its various socials in order to find out the results of that, assuming we go that direction. But for now, UCID taking game number 1, pressure back on the QUT side. And if you're UTS, this is exactly what you're kind of hoping for. You want your own destiny to be completely in your own hands, and that happens with the with the UCID victory here.
Absolutely, they're absolutely playing like they deserve it right now. Although I will say, Sai was a little bit quieter that game than he has been in previous weeks. We're used to Sai being a show performer, but had some incredible defense out of BkWhatOCE in that game. Obviously, 2 great shots out of Pabilio as well. I expect that Sai will be warming up a little bit more now, and that we'll see maybe even more of a dominant side.
And we saw hints of it in that overtime, that 1v3 play that almost got the victory, and maybe it'd be a slightly different narrative coming into this one. But yeah, we'd like to see a bit more production out of the strongest player, I dare say, on this UCID team. Meanwhile, for QUT, I mean, Front and Jack, this is what you come to expect from them, as Jack throws it back to Front for the first goal.
That almost bought UCID some time to get back on defense just then. Sai almost had it, obviously went in for the block, but Front was having that little bit of extra height, managed to get it over him and put QUT up by a goal in the second.
A very nice start for that QUT side, which is what they're going to be looking for now. And they keep that momentum up. We could get ourselves the proper, back and forth series. I know for sure people on that UCID side would love to continue to extend their lead, and they'll get a chance here. Unfortunately, Pabilio unable to catch the pass.
You see the ball caught a little bit in a dangerous position for QUT, as UCID are taking shot after shot, but just going a little bit too high here. You'll see Front going for another double. I would expect nothing less than to see him hit a few more of these in this series.
See if they'll get their chance. Ball's going to wind up centered, but Front pulls away. BkWhatOCE misses. Mac is alone. 3 touch towards the net. Goes backboard. Double commit though from QUT. Means Pabilio gets just enough to save that attack. Jacko, good mechanics to stay on it. Sai has to wrap around. That will delay the counterattack. It's another swing and a miss from Pabilio. Mac with 1 reset. Now looking for the goal, but Sai will keep it away.
Some fantastic play we are seeing other QUT sides, some very mechy attempts on net. Jacko just then, as you said, fantastic control of the ball, almost got the dunk over Sai as well, which would have been a great goal to be up by a second goal in this game. But again, we're seeing a bit of a stalemate, seeing the ball lost between both teams right now. I think UCID are going to have to get a goal soon, otherwise we're going to see, a similar thing we saw in the first game, where there's just a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing that back and forth, it feels like, on the pitch right now. BkWhatOCE, was expecting a better touch out of Mac. That'll be another missed opportunity. Yeah, both these teams are struggling to read each other as we get a Rule 1 in the corner with Front and Pabilio.
And we have a 2v2 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Jacko and Mac, the dynamic duo right now, versus Sai and who have the
BkWhatOCE.
No, it's BkWhatOCE, Sai and BkWhatOCE. This will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would like Mac and Jack in this situation to kind of extend the lead, and they've got a little bit of a breakaway here. Jack's just going to put that shot on. BkWhatOCE again with the diving save, keeping UCID within striking distance. It was just over 2 minutes to go.
And BkWhatOCE, is playing incredibly in defense so far this entire series. The first game absolutely kept UCID alive in defense, and I would put BkWhatOCE 100% to be, to give him credit for that defense, sorry. We're going to see more of that this game as well.
Ooh, ball's going to make its way to the Rule 1, but it looks like Sai will keep it around, and Jacko's going to challenge, and again, the Rule 1 almost broken by Jacko. Had to slam the brakes to avoid hitting them, so, I mean, it's good to see that even the 2s players right now are respecting the Rule 1 as we hit our final 90 seconds.
I feel like both teams want the Rule 1 to stay in place at the moment, not just for the respect of the Rule 1, but I feel like there's a bit more chaos in the 2v2. There's a little bit less reliance on a third man. There's less reliance on having someone back in defense. Changes the dynamics. Maybe both teams are kind of wanting that chaos right now.
I mean, it seems to be giving opportunities to both sides. As you said, continues to try to put pressure on the corner. Jacko on the backboard, back towards the middle. Got cut off by Sai, just putting shot on target. That's been the goal, it feels like, from the UCID team. They haven't been able to crack that defense. The shots, they've been kind of straightforward ones. Jacko with the bump on Sai gives Mac a free touch.
We're going to see an opportunity now for Mac to go for the shot. Tries to go for the pass, but gets a little bit caught up. A shot from Jacko as well, but again, saved by BkWhatOCE. Again, saved by BkWhatOCE. Another dunk midair as well. We're going to see a demo on Sai, so BkWhatOCE playing a solo 1v2 right now. Sai now has come back into play and is in the ball.
Yep, they're just going to clear it to the sort of the empty gap on the pitch right here. 18 seconds remaining. UCID, if they want to take this one to another OT, well, that clear may have just cost their chances. Now they have to go the distance of the pitch. Pass to Sai. Can't really drive it straight. Jacko should be there to mark it, but without boost, might actually have to pull back as well. Ball left for Sai. It's a lob shot off the backboard. Anyone underneath? Not quite. Jacko gets their first place keep away and actually will let it drop, so QUT takes game 2.
I actually thought Jacko wasn't going to get the double off the wall just then. I thought BkWhatOCE is going to have an opportunity to keep it up himself for UCID, but just too much control out of this QUT side right now. They're too clinical on the ball, managing to keep control, managing to hold it to themselves like Jacko just did. Definitely critical to their win in that game.
Yeah, and that's a big win for QUT to kind of tie things up in that series. I have to throw back to the interview that we had last week with UCID, where they didn't know if they were still in the playoff race or not. We got to tell them on the interview there's still a chance for the 3-way tiebreaker, and they said they'd be coming in bringing their A game. And then they commit to the Rule 1, and far from me to say the Rule 1 isn't one team's A game. However, it's good to sort of see that where priorities lie, I suppose, if that makes sense.
You gotta respect the Rule 1. I think a lot of these players would cop a lot of flack if they didn't respect the Rule 1 when it happens. So good on them for doing that. But in saying that, it was a stalemate for quite a while there. The Rule 1 happened with 3 minutes to go, and already UCID have come out of the gates firing.
Yeah, that's just going to be Sai and BkWhatOCE able to do what they weren't able to do before in the 2v2. This time they connect with each other in front of the net, find a cheeky little shot underneath 2 defenders to give themselves an early 1-0 lead.
And Sai in perfect positioning, as we would expect from him as well, being such a star player to this team. Definitely positioning played a huge part there in that goal, but we're going to see the ball go back down the other end, an open net for Jacko. UCID defenders nowhere in sight. What happened there? Third man pushed up a little bit too far potentially. I think that was on Cabilio.
May have been. I think it definitely, it was over aggression from a team maybe a little bit too riled up from getting that early lead, and yeah, when you overextend, easy to get punished on the opposite end. Here we go, Mac down into the corner, trying to set up Jacko. We'll keep the pressure on, pass back down, and a triple commit from the defense. It doesn't matter because they get the clear.
Yeah, great block from Jacko as well to keep that ball in an offensive position. You're going to see Mac as well get a touch, try and get it over BkWhatOCE, who manages to keep the ball in his possession, gets a great inch to take the ball to the corner, but it's just going to go back into the hands of QUT.
We're going to see front with a nice touch. Unable to follow it up entirely though. BkWhatOCE tries to bring it back up the other way. 1 minute into this game 3. Score still tied. In a very, very important series. That's a great pass to front. 2-1 lead for QUT.
Perfect play out of QUT right now. You can tell they're a lot more warmed up than they were in that first game. That was a great flick from Max, straight onto front's nose. Perfect positioning, perfect shot into the net as well, and QUT are up 3-1.
Exactly where QUT would like to be right now, to a 2-1 lead. Go a lot of positive ways from here, as Jacko tries to stay behind the ball, but isn't able to get the finishing touch.
BkWhatOCE now with a pass to Cabilio. Double attempt as well, but unfortunately he was a little bit too high. I think also accidentally faked out Sai, who wasn't expecting Cabilio to miss that one.
So we
see Jacko now. Oh, sorry, Paul.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to have a Robertson play by play. We're going to see Cabilio though with the shot to equalize the score, putting the game at 2-2 for both teams right now.
Yeah, that was surprisingly weak defense from Mac and Jack in that situation. Jack was going full bore, trying to rotate back in time. Ball sailed over Mac's head. Very, very unusual situation, but we'll see how they recover. Still a lot of time in this game. Very important game number 3. Want to be on match point with as many match points as possible, especially in a series, though, that has... maybe this game isn't that important, Morhi, because I also kind of feel like this one's going to be going to Game 5.
I have a feeling you're right. Whichever team manages to take this win, I feel like the other team's just going to fire back next game. We've had series like that in previous weeks where it just goes one way and then the next, but this one is looking like it may go QUT's way.
Yeah, that looked pretty good right there. I mean, I'm sure Front would have rather that one gone posted in, but Mac's in the right spot to kind of clean it up. So, once again, it will be QUT with the lead, 3-2. See if they're able to hold on to that position. As BkWhatOCE leads the charge, finds side, post down, not through.
Very, very close indeed. I think back down the last goal for one, I'm not sure if it was just me, but it looked like there was a bit of a ghost touch as well.
It was.
You sit on defense, but it doesn't matter. Even if that shot had been sunk before, Jacko has come back with another one. And now you said they've still got half a game left. Well, there's still plenty of time, but having to fight back 2 goals is going to be difficult against QUT.
This doesn't feel like QUT's missing right now. They're hitting everything. Every shot just finding its mark, and if that trend continues, I will worry for the UCID side. Still half a game, you are correct though, so a lot can happen as Jacko, I think, wanted to leave it for Mac, but Mac didn't have the boost, so here comes side, BkWhatOCE underneath, he'll get a chance, but Mac cuts him off. Proactive play from the QUT defense.
Indeed. Yeah, QT, they're just playing so well right now. They're playing, I feel like they're playing at their peak. I feel like we've seen them play like this in previous weeks, and they have come out of it victorious, and it's looking like they may this week if they keep this up.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying, that is for sure. Again, vying for that number 4 seeded spot where you most likely have to go up against some teams. Whoever winds up winning that New South Wales you will win game. I feel like New South Wales should be the heavy favorites there, as Front just finds another. Front is looking so informed today.
Yeah, Front is hitting every shot that he takes. That wicket double in the first game was just the beginning of an incredible performance from Front tonight, and I don't know how many goals Front's on this series, but I feel like he's putting in quite the offensive work.
Feels like he's been able to grab the majority of them, and now with a 3-goal cushion, safe to say QUT is more likely than not going to be walking away with this Game 3 victory. Match point going into Game 4 in a must-win series. It would knock UCID out. They can't kind of piece this one back together. On that opposite side, QUT with that win here, I mean, it's the first step of 2 to guarantee their spot in. We'd have to double check on the tiebreakers, but game is not done. BkWhatOCE keeps us within 2.
What an angle as well to be able to hit the very, very corner of the net there from that very, very side-on position. That was an incredible shot from BkWhatOCE, and he's managing to keep UCID's game alive in this series.
See if they'll continue to add to that. 1:08 remaining in this game. Front wants to cross the pitch up. Cabello catches though. Loses out on the challenge to Mac. Ball doesn't roll straight through. Sai's going to have to chase it back into the corner. Here we go, Sai. What have you got? Wilkes got a face full of Front. BkWhatOCE will collect down underneath. Jacko swings. Jacko misses. Cabello stays on it. Still 47 seconds remaining. Big demo on the opposite side of the midfield line as BkWhatOCE loses out to Jacko.
Oh, an incredible shot from Front as well. Almost manages to sink it, but Cabello was back in time to be able to save that. Still 30 seconds left. Still time for UCID. But I feel like they've got to score one soon and then potentially even a kickoff goal to stay in this.
And they've got to find that goal ASAP, unfortunately. Oh, maybe now, fortunately, they do flip the map with a little bit of time. Here comes Cabello. That's the touch they need, and we're back within 1.
That is exactly what UCID needed, and all they need now is even if they don't score immediately off the kickoff, they just need the kickoff to go their way. 17 seconds isn't a lot. It's still enough to score a goal, but they need to do something quickly. They need to take possession. They need to maybe look for a demo as well. Take a defensive player out of the play. They haven't got much time left.
Here we go, Cabello. to the backboard, unable to finish it. Ball now up in the air, side's going to race back. Looking to connect to Kabilio, but as time starts to whittle down, it's going to come down to Sai. This is going to be potentially his last series in AEL. Doesn't have a Game 3 miracle in this one, or does he? He's going to be trying to race their biker glass, cuts him off, and then all hits the ground. So QUT will take Game 3. Match point now for QUT. They'll get 2 chances to put this away, and UCID, this is it for them. They've got to win 2 games in a row.
Yeah, this is it indeed. They are, I mean, in saying that, UCID aren't playing poorly. I feel like they're actually playing pretty well, and they are managing to hit the shots that they are taking. BkWhatOCE again on the defense. Kabilio and Sai have both been incredible offensively as well. I think QUT is just outplaying them a little bit right now, and QUT on a good day, they are a really top team. So this is a hard ask going into this game anyway. But it still could go either way, Formal.
It still very easily could, but hinted at it just at the end right there. Would like to bring to the attention the fact that yes, Sai is graduating this year. This is the last time we could potentially see Sai on an AEL pitch. Someone who's been such a staple for this UCID team up until now. Been on the squad for many years. Kind of getting beaten out right there by Jacko. If this is their last series, you know he's going to want to end on a high, and unfortunately, that pinch was a little bit too much for him to handle.
What a pinch for QUT to get. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely not something UCID or any other team I would expect to read very well for that ball to go in. But definitely putting QUT off to a good start. Definitely the start they're wanting going into this series. They want to nail this 3-1. They want to have it over and done with and have their opportunity at the playoffs. UCID still have to fight back though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they want their chance. So much of it's going to be reliant on, you know, what happens in that UTS series as well. Because UTS, if I'm not mistaken, has the tiebreak over QUT based on the match that they played at the very start of this event. Mac gets the open net thanks to a demo, and it's now a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate here. The demo on BkWhatOCE side, just unable to read which way Mac was going to go with that shot as well. Putting QUT up, this is looking really dangerous for us.
Also, just to correct myself from what I just said, because, you know, it's late, okay? When you're old, past 6 p.m., it's like, QUT has the tiebreaker after week 1, meaning QUT win, they in. It's that simple. So they are in such a good spot to potentially put this entire thing to rest. They can just stay on it. They've got the 2-0 lead right now, 4 minutes away from a playoff spot.
Yeah, they're looking very good for it indeed. And if they do make it into the playoffs hall and they play like they're playing today, I think they've got a decent chance at. Look, I wouldn't call it upsetting the other teams because I feel like QUT are a top side. They deserve to be called a top side. But even then, they weren't one of the teams that locked in top 3 position. So I guess it still kind of would be an upset, but I feel like they have the potential for it.
It depends who they're up against, and unfortunately in that number 4 seed, you're looking at UNSW, right? Like, I'd like QUT's chances against Griffith. I'd like QUT's chances against UON. I don't like anybody's chances against New South Wales in the form they've been in.
Well, they played UNSW last week and unfortunately got swept, so it is a difficult ask, and anything's a difficult ask against UNSW.
That said, UON still could take the number 1 seed.
True.
Would make things interesting. If they win their series today, that's going to be series number 3, so, you know, reason to stick around for that to see who's going to be our number 1 seed going into the playoffs. But for right now, it is currently QUT in control. Another big win for Front as they extend their lead to 3.
Down as well. The perfect shot, the perfect pass from Mac as well. I feel like Mac is due for some credit there. To look for Front instead of going for the, I guess, the more selfish solo play there when there were 2 defenders going to potentially make it back into net. It was definitely the better option to look for pass.
It was, and they get rewarded for it. QUT dialed in here in our 4th game as they continue to try to put pressure on that back line. A lot of boost, though. I do expect UCID to be okay, but with, you know, a little bit shaky defense, defenders bumping each other, It could be a case of the discipline falling apart. UCID, they've just got over 2 minutes remaining to try and salvage this series.
You're right. You're definitely right, Formal. But I can't help. Look, I think QT deserve this spot. With the way they're playing, they absolutely deserve to make their shot into the playoffs. But I can't help, if UCID don't manage to bring this back soon, I can't help but be gutted for them, because they have tried and they have had some really good weeks this season. And they definitely had an opportunity here tonight. I love a bit of an underdog story. I love a bit of chaos. I don't love upsetting BK as much. It's just purely loving the chaos, loving the story that chaos tells.
I mean,
it'll be a shame, but
I mean, for me, I'm looking at this as if this could be Psy's last game, and that could be Psy's last assist on the goal here. As BkWhatOCE may have set up in the corner, but watch Psy through this, press the big touch, and really it should have been Psy's goal, but because BkWhatOCE, wanted to steal it away after the demo, just parked the car, secures the point. There was a late rally last game. Maybe UCID's not just done yet.
I'm hoping they're not just done yet. It's good to see a little bit more fire out of them. It's good to see a goal out of UCID as well. Hopefully we can tie this up and take it to an OT. Wouldn't that be a fun way to go into a game 5 potentially? Still plenty of time left. They almost did it last game. We saw them come back very late in the last game. There's still an opportunity in front of them.
I think, and there could be a good opportunity as well. Here comes Front. Gonna go the distance, connecting on the pass. No, it doesn't go in. It would have been the finishing blow. Instead, UCID perhaps with a chance, but they're gonna have to stop the Mac attack now. 2 defenders dive. No one taps it through until Front, who has been immaculate, just puts the dagger in this series.
Front has managed some incredible solo plays. He's always in a position as well when someone else is going for a solo or someone else is going for an attempt on net. He's always there to clean up any mess as well. I feel like Front has been absolutely the MVP of this series and has been hugely contributing to QUT's success.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this has been one of the best performances I think we've seen out of Front in, the Elite Series. Which is good, because this is, when Front was announced on the lineup, these were the kind of performances I was expecting from the young gun. 30 seconds remaining, and I do not see a way back into this one. So, wow, QUT, elation, going to the top 4 for UCID. We lose a great one in Sislo, in Psy, who will be, graduating. Congratulations to him. 10 seconds left. QUT, they have done it. They have secured top 4.
Graduation, schmaduation. I think sign up for another year, sign up for another degree, go for masters, go for honors. UCID need Psy. If he's going to be graduating, next year is going to be interesting, but QUT, massive congratulations for their performance. Definitely very, very deserving of their spot.
Yeah, they do it. So they have the number 4 seed. Congratulations to them. Victory well-deserved, and unfortunately for UTS, that kind of puts them out of the contention as well before they even get to hit the pitch, kind of the way how the tie breaks go. UTS, it sucks to lose out when you're not even playing, Morgie, but, I mean, QUT, you got to be happy for this side.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would suck having to have that opportunity out of your hands and having to rely on somebody else's loss for it. But UTS, again, a new team who came into the season playing incredibly well, unfortunately not making it through to playoffs, but just being outplayed by a side like QUT, definitely difficult to come up against our top 4 formal.
Yeah, it always is. Now, we're going to be looking to get an interview before the break this time around. We're going to try and get in touch with Mac in just a few moments to have a word with him about what it means for QUT to qualify into that top 4, but I mean, at this stage, there's really only a couple questions left to be answered, because while, yes, that does kind of push QUT into that top 4 position, I'm just taking a quick look at how their tiebreak goes with a certain Griffith University. See if maybe they can steal that number 3 seed as well, assuming, something absolutely crazy happens and Griffith comes up short. But while I look that up, Mac, I believe, has just joined the call. Mac.
Yo,
my friend, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I don't think I'd be as good as you right now, considering how you just secured yourself into the semifinal.
Oh, did we do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Yes.
Well, I was gonna ask if the pressure played into it, if you guys were nervous about your spot being on the line, if it felt good to win it, but surprise.
Yay. To be honest, I thought we would tied with someone, and it mattered. Sorry, I thought it came down to games, so I wasn't too sure. But
I believe it's the tiebreak goes to series. So because you won against UTS in week number 1, so that very first series turns out to be the one that puts you in. Congratulations on that front. So that said, let's talk about the series as well against UCID, because it felt like, well, yes, you and Jacko are usually the two players playing up front. It was actually Front this time who was up there as kind of like that big demo, that big playmaker. Was that a active decision?
not really. No, I think Jack was playing a little safer today. I'm not sure why, but it seemed to work, so I can't really complain against it. And yeah, I don't know. I liked what he did, and it just all worked together. It gelled well. Good.
Yeah, you definitely gelled well, especially in the later part of that series. Was there any point in which you're feeling nervous about the way UCID was playing?
Oh yeah, from the first game, like I was like, "Hey, these guys are actually not too bad." And then yeah, we all just were like, "All right, let's lock in," and we did. And yeah, I think we played really well. I actually liked our build-up play today. We did a lot more of it. And like you guys say, where it's maybe me and Jacko, we had Front in that mix a lot of the time now, so played off well.
And I guess at this stage, you guys have secured the 4th seed. No way to get to the 3rd seed. It's locked in, seed number 4, which means your next match is going to be either against UON or the University of New South Wales, depending on who wins that series. Is there an opponent between those two you'd rather face, and why?
UON, 100%. I don't think anyone wants to verse UNSW. That team is cracked. No chance.
Do you think you'd take out the win against UON?
If we put some hours in and start scrimming, I think we definitely have a good shot at it. I think Eminence is new, and he's a good player. He's a great addition to their squad, so definitely a lot harder than last season, but yeah, I think we do have the chance to beat them.
All right, well, I'll leave you to that then. Again, congratulations on making it to that top 4. Good luck in the best of 7s. You get a week off, I believe, until those kick off, and we'll look forward to chatting again soon.
Sweet as. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So there was Mac again, QUT. Sometimes I think you called it out. It's better almost when you don't understand the stakes entirely. It diminishes some of those nerves, but I have no idea how, if I were a player, I wouldn't be completely aware of every single scenario that could happen.
I think I'm like you, Formal. When my own gameplay is on the line, I feel like I've got everything. Like I've got that crazy whiteboard behind me with every situation played out, with the game losses or the game wins. But I think that like when I play, that kind of thing makes me nervous.
Yep.
So I think you're right. I feel like it's actually better to go into it not knowing what's going to happen, to be calm about it, and I think that perfectly describes the QUT side as cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, take things one game at a time, just like we're going to be doing so here. So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, it's going to be our second matchup of the evening. So stick around. Game number 2 when we return. You know, when someone is a part of this competition for as long as Sai is, you kind of forget how long it's been. So much so, Morgie, that I actually had to ask the man himself. But a 5-year veteran playing his last season as he is graduating on to brighter and better and greater things. Joining us now is going to be Sai for maybe one last interview, maybe not, depending on how the Open Series goes. So, Sai, first of all, unfortunate result today. I know it wasn't the result you wanted, but, you know, break down how AEL has been for you over the past 5 years.
Yeah, well, it's been fairly good, I'd say. We did secure UCID a win. I don't know, maybe in the second year, a couple of years ago. But yeah, unfortunately, since then we haven't quite been able to replicate that. But it's been a lot of fun over the whole thing. It's been good.
You guys have definitely given some of the teams that have made it into the playoffs. You've definitely given them a run for your money, run for their money. Sorry. Are there any plans with Rocket League outside of this once you graduate, or?
Not particularly. Maybe just playing every now and then. But I don't think playing competitively is going to be quite the same anymore. I haven't really played competitively in a while, and I don't have the time for it as much anymore.
Getting a little bit reflective, though, because you've been, you know, in Elite Series, every iteration of it. You've also kind of been like that top performing division, lots of deep playoff runs. You've seen a lot of, you know, essentially RLCS level teams go through and often play against you. Rarely you got the win, but sometimes you did. But a lot of times they may have come out on top. I'm kind of curious, what was that like as someone who's never really been at that peak RLCS level to always have an opportunity to go up against some of these great teams?
Yeah, it's a good experience. A lot of fun knowing that I can somewhat play at the same level, but never quite at the tippity top. But yeah, it's good to know and enjoyable.
I got to ask, aside from missing the AEL, are you looking forward to graduation?
Yes and no. Like it's good to know that it might finally be over. I don't have to pull any more late night, all night assignments. But then again, like maybe next year starting full-time work, it's gonna be different to the university life. So yes and no. Looking forward to it, but also not so much.
And I guess kind of following on from that, if you were to pick one AEL moment that you've had that you're gonna kind of remember these events by, what would it be?
Well, I mean, I guess winning it's got to be the highlight.
Yeah,
that was good. Yeah, got to be winning it.
Yeah, I think
just the one time.
That's a kind of a gimme answer, I feel like, but at the same token, yeah, not many people could say they've won this event.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, on that note, look, UCID has also had some like kind of the craziest fan base. I mean, it always seems like the Twitch chat would show up for you guys. Is there anything you'd like to say? Any people you'd like to thank after?
Yeah, well, thank you to the boys, the Taka boys, and also the lads from uni that support me each week. Hope it was entertaining enough to watch, even though we might not have got the win a lot of these weeks, but yeah, maybe made it enjoyable to watch.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being with us this entire time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, Sai, look, still could come back in the Open Series. So might not necessarily be done, Morgie, but just in case, good to let, such a long-standing veteran get those finals words in. And I'm going to be honest, that second question I asked came out way harsher than I meant it to. That was a little embarrassing. It was like, hey, Zy, what a great career you've had here. Remember all those great teams you lost to? That was a mistake. I apologize, Zy. I apologize.
No, I think he knew you meant well, and I think he took the question well.
He did. I was expecting to get slapped down there, especially because he was on his best behavior. But let's keep moving on. We've still got another game right around the corner. And speaking of, maybe players who I've been a little harsh to in teams which are a little too accustomed to losing, UOM going up against Griffith University right here. Last chance for UOM to get a win here in the Elite Series.
Absolutely, absolutely UOM are hungry for a win. They haven't gotten a win yet, and tonight is their last opportunity to do that. So I don't doubt that, despite playoffs being out of question, I don't doubt that they're going to come into this series really strong, and they're going to want to take this win away from Griffith. Griffith, on the other hand, ADOS, Exile, Ultraviolet are an incredibly strong team in this competition, obviously. So it'll be tricky for UOM tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for Griffith, they had a huge 3-0 win last week to kind of secure themselves into those playoffs. They've got the tiebreak against QUT, so they are feeling pretty good about that. Now, we do want to avoid too many of the crazy three-way tiebreak scenarios, but I believe they are out in front in that regard, so they are pretty good. But most importantly, for this Griffith side, would be their matchup against UON, where unfortunately they did come up one game short, which means that even if they tie with UON at the end of the season, UON would get the tiebreak against them. So they're pretty much locked in the third seed. It doesn't really change too much for them. It's all about getting to the playoffs with a win and kind of seeing where you go from there. 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go. Game number 1.
I think the interesting thing about that loss to UON as well is that if UON lose to UNSW tonight, which obviously UNSW do go into that game as the favourites, then UON will be stuck in that second seed position and there will be a rematch. So I think that will actually be an interesting way the playoffs go out as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that semi-final match is going to be the one you'd want to circle as like the marquee one, assuming that's where it goes. The match that doesn't have New South Wales, right? That's the one that I'm thinking, let's see if it can go 7. As first shot is on, but save is made.
Yeah, absolutely. Already, we are more than 40 seconds into this game and still no score out of either side. I did go into this series thinking it was going to be high scoring formal, so I'm kind of surprised that, even after so little time into this game that we're still locked up. But we're going to see a demo come out as well from Griffith, but unfortunately it isn't capitalized on.
It's never really been Griffith's MO, though, to really run up the score like we've seen from other teams. So we'll see. I mean, it still could change. You can almost argue the opposite has been for Melbourne. Like, Melbourne games are often a little bit more chaotic. They're usually the higher scoring ones. And it's not like, some of our winless teams in the past where they've felt completely outclassed. This Melbourne squad has gotten close to taking a couple series, actually. They've just never been able to kind of finish once they get an early lead. Maybe that changes here today with their last chance.
Yeah, I guess, there's definitely the potential for that. I guess my reasoning for thinking that this was going to be high scoring was because Melbourne does go into this with nothing to lose. So maybe they will change their play style up a little bit. Maybe they will play a little bit chaotic. Maybe Griffith as well, with nothing to lose, knowing they're already locked into the playoffs, will do the same. So I was expecting maybe something a little bit different tonight, but both teams kind of playing their usual play style here.
Yeah, so far, I mean, first strike's going to come from Exile playing off the back against the goal. Again, this Griffith lineup has been one of the better ones we have seen in a hot minute. Ultraviolet, ADOS, Exile, when the three start clicking, they are so strong together. Another quick goal from the Griffith side as they're starting to run away with game 1.
Oh, absolutely. And they'll go into the playoffs as well, hungry for that win against UON. If UON are second, they would want to go in for a win against UNSW as well, but they haven't had luck against UNSW in the past either, so they're still in a tricky position in the playoffs in third place.
Oh my gosh, Exile! On form already, the hat trick, Morgie! It's only been 2 minutes. I thought this was going to be the low-scoring game.
All three to Exile so far is insane. A solo play, a great passing play as well. Definitely the kind of play and the kind of form we'd expect out of Exile. Like you said just before, these three, when they're on, and I would expect to see those incredible plays out of all three of them going into the series.
I mean, this is sort of that statement that you want to be making, as AEST wants to get on the scoreboard. Dunk, though, doesn't quite hit the mark they were looking for. Tight spacing, though, from Griffith. They don't care. They're just willing to send it right now. I think they smell the blood in the water, that, you know, courtesy of Exile, and they're looking for bumps. They're putting aggressive shots, aggressive challenges. They want to take over this series early.
Oh, absolutely. They're trying to get in UOM's face early in this game. They're trying to put as many goals on the scoreboard as they can to give them a bit of distance in this game and to give them a bit of a buffer so they can go for those crazy plays, so they can go for some really mechy shots and solo plays if they want to. With the more buffer they have, the more opportunities they have to do that.
I'm trying to see a play off that wall, but Ultraviolet does lose out to Virgo. Tries to go back midfield. Ball's going to go opposite side now still. A lot of time on the clock as Le Beast Man goes for the double. Isn't able to seal it. Ultraviolet now back up the other way. ADOS underneath, and that's going to be a goal. 4-0.
I think that was a really good opportunity for Le Beast Man, and I think, honestly, if there wasn't a defender on the ball at that exact moment, he may have had that double as well. So that would have been really good for UOM's morale, but unfortunately, defense just too strong from Griffith right now.
Yeah, and now with that 4-0 lead, I mean, until we see a big sort of change in the defensive side right now on UOM, I can't help but feel like Griffith, they're not only taking this first game, but they're poised to really make a dominant run this series. Although, thinking back on it, it does feel as if game ones have been one-sided quite a lot, and yet rarely does that translate into a 3-0.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Griffith have managed to, they do start a series hot. They do go into a series really dominant in the first game. I think you're right that they have actually won a lot of their first games in a lot of series. But again, as we were talking about last week, aside from last week doubling our sweep counts for the entire season, we hadn't had too many early on.
No, we have not, and now here we go. 4-0 lead, double commit coming from the two defenders. Not able to follow it up too much after that. Virgo's going to put a shot on off the backboard. It's still not there. Exile will clear to the other side. Ultraviolet collects what they can. Ball to the middle of the pitch. Oh, Galaxy swing and a miss. That's a little bit off, but not punished.
Yeah, less than 40 seconds left. It is looking like this game is game over for UOM, unfortunately. Still plenty of opportunity in the series, though. We have plenty more games. Virgo's going to put a shot on the scoreboard, though, and give UOM a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, Virgo just out of that corner. Puts it right smack dab in the middle of the net, where you want it to be. So, going to be a 4-1 lead now. 3 goals, 30 seconds. Not too feasible. Maybe, though, a bit of momentum that Melbourne can work with moving into game number 2.
Yeah, definitely momentum is what they're needing right now, because this Griffith side, they're scary formal. They definitely are putting on a performance today. They're showing off their mech, they're flaunting their team plays and their passes as well. So definitely a terrifying side to come against finally.
Yeah, they can be that scary squad. Timer is going to tick down as the game will, well, not quite finish just yet. Ball gets popped up in front of the net. Now Galaxy connects to Virgo. They're unable to finish it. So, clock at 0. Now it hits the ground. Game number 1 going to the Griffith side.
Yep, game number 1 going to our, I guess, the favourites in this match, given the fact that they're already into the playoffs and given the fact that UOM is unfortunately sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard. I think this was kind of the expectation that Griffith would come into this first game wanting the win. And as we've seen, they are off to a great start.
They are off to a great start indeed. I mean, it's a weird one, though, because even though Griffith is the team that's like going to the playoffs, secured the number 3 seed, because their standings can't really be moved, it almost feels like more pressure is on Melbourne, because this is their last chance to actually win a series. And that almost showed at the start of that sort of last game where Melbourne was a little bit hesitant to kind of attack. They were playing super far back. They weren't looking like their normal selves. They're more aggressive side. And I wonder if nerves are kind of coming into play for the winless squad.
Yeah, I think you might be right. It's not necessarily playoffs on the line, but a reputation on the line, I guess, a little bit, or just wanting to secure that win, wanting to get something out of this season would be huge for them and definitely more valuable to Griffith. But I guess in the same sense, Griffith would not wanting to be losing this series either. They do have their playoff spot, but I think you're right that this matters a little bit more to UOM.
And we'll see if UOM can start to bounce back. I mean, this is a good opportunity for Galaxy ADOS, so we'll challenge from the side. And it's also interesting to me, too, to see how much stronger at times Griffith looks like when they don't put that pressure on themselves. I mean, that Exile looked amazing to start the series off, although, I mean, that was a great win by Burgo in the 2v1.
Yeah, what a dunk on two defenders just then. Perfect positioning to go up for that aerial and just get that over two of them to secure Melbourne the lead early on.
What we're laughing at, Exile just in the chat calling out UV, saying that was their fault, and then watches the ball sail over their head as Burgo puts on a second.
I feel like that's just instant karma.
Well, watching the replay, that one also might have been UV's fault as well.
Oh no, Griffith looking a little bit shaken formal all of a sudden. I think Melbourne's definitely stepped up, but Griffith, that's not the kind of defense they were putting on last game.
No, it's not. Now we're going for double resets in front of the net. I think we're seeing maybe Griffith get a little too casual with it. Doesn't matter though, Ultraviolet just pushed the ball in a dangerous spot and lets the defense do the rest.
Ultraviolet not happy with being called out at fault for the other goals and has to redeem himself somehow, manages to get a goal back for Griffith, and again, we're on for a game this one for me.
Does that count as an own goal if you double touch it off your own post?
I'm going to say that was tactical from Ultraviolet.
I mean, it was
just
well
meant to
placed.
be.
It was well placed, but and I would understand if the first touch from Galaxy went in, but it bounced off Galaxy twice to go through there. That was really well placed by Yuki, I think is the best way to put it, because yeah, I'm kind of with you. I still don't want to call that an own goal, but I don't know. I rarely see the double touch in that position. Here we go, though. ADOS!
Oh, that was beautiful, Formal.
Placement, the touch. I mean, first of all, good job making the attacker miss, but the placement again. ADOS reminding kind of why he's been that mainstay in Griffith for such a long time.
Absolutely, that was an insane goal. Perfect timing to bait. I think it was Galaxy out of the net as well. Just a slight delay on that flip. The perfect positioning of the ball to hit the top corner of his heart as well. Sent it straight into the position he wanted to in net. That was insane.
Exactly what you would be hoping for. Oh no, Exile! That was not the touch you're looking for if you're on the Griffin side. It's not going to be too punishing this time around. In fact, it leads to an open net, and an open net miss. Exile a little bit shakier this second game.
What do you think UOM need to do right now, Paul? What do you think they're not doing enough of, or what do you think they need to do better right now to potentially put a little bit more pressure on Griffin?
I mean, I actually like what they're doing. I like how Galaxy is playing so far forward and challenging everything. I like how they're risking it all. This is kind of more of the UOM I'm expecting, that like over-aggressive team, and I think that's where they're most comfortable. So I would still be saying stay the course, keep playing their game, and you know, eventually, hopefully things will come down in their favor. It's only tied.
Yeah.
They're not behind.
No, I have to agree. I think I think you're right before about calling out the kind of the very defensive, very nervous playstyle they had that first game. All three of them kind of sitting back in defense in net was not their usual style. It's not what they're used to. Whether or not they have secured any series wins doesn't matter. It's the playstyle they're used to, is that aggression. And if they fall out of that now, this late in the season, it's not going to be doing them any favors. So I'm definitely glad they are playing.
Yeah, I mean, this looks a lot more like the UOM I was expecting to see in the second game, which unfortunately also comes with little moments like that. Galaxy a bit of swing and a miss, and that's kind of when they get punished, usually, and it could lead to a punishment here. Ultraviolet's second touch is going to be setting up A double commit from Griffith. Fortunately, ADOS gets that second touch. That will buy time for Ultraviolet to try and rotate back. Virgo has to slow it down. Tries to stay on the ball. UV cuts it off, and here comes Exile looking for the touchdown, but it's not in.
Definitely, we haven't seen too many double commits out of either side in this series, but that definitely could have cost Griffith and put UOM up by a goal, but nonetheless, they did manage to make it back in time into defense. And we're going to see a shot now, a pass from Ultraviolet, or potentially a shot just a little bit too slow, but ADOS there, perfect positioning again to manage to clean that up and get it past the Beastman in there.
So, I'm going to asking you a question as a player who does, who also, because you play a lot of CS as well, right?
New to it, but obsessed with it, yes.
Yeah, okay, so you know how in CS, when, you know, sometimes looking at corners and peak spots, you often kind of aim, or you know where you're going to aim because you know that's where the body is going to be, as opposed to seeing the body and then aiming towards them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Positioning your crosshair.
Does that happen in Rocket League? You go like, okay, the ball is most likely going to be here because of the initial position of the defender, and so do you just aim your car at a spot knowing that the ball will show up there, or do you really try and track the ball at all moments?
I guess it depends. If I'm playing with people I'm familiar with, and I guess this situation would apply more in this league because obviously the teams are set. If I'm playing with my usual teammates, then yes, I'll kind of expect or kind of try and read where the ball was going to go a couple of passes from now, for example. If I'm solo queuing, you don't really get that opportunity. It's a lot more rare to be able to do that, but these players know each other well. They've been playing, whether they've been in this league for multiple seasons or whether they're new like UOM, they know their teammates well by week 7, and I would expect that they are trying to read those passes, 3 moves ahead.
Okay, because I'm just like thinking back on that ADOS one where it's just like, all right, this ball is going to come across the net off a defender. More likely than not, it's going to be in this position, so I'm just going to drive my car like in, the upper left quadrant, and the ball will be there. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Right.
Or do you just always kind of track and see maybe something might change? I'm not sure. Like, I'm asking as someone who's not very good at Rocket, right? So.
No, I think you are onto it there, especially, and I guess that's more about reading your opponents well. And I think that's to me that's why we see a lot of dunks and a lot of blocks in this tournament, or in this league. I feel like a lot of games we saw one just before was I think Virgo, the first goal of this game was a really great block over two of Griffith's defenders. And I think that comes from expecting, this is where they're going to touch the ball, this is where they're going to hit the ball. If he can kind of match that in the air and beat not them, but beat the ball, I guess we do see a lot of that.
Well, here we go. Game number 3 about to kick off. A sub happening on the UOM side. Jeremy coming in. Now, they were claiming Jeremy is Zen. I'm pretty sure Jeremy is not Zen. However, if they play like Zen, well, that can only mean good things for the UOM side.
Okay, so we're expecting like ultra aggression demos, crazy, insane solo plays coming left, right, and center from Jeremy. Okay, I know what to expect now if we're going to be calling him Zen. That's if we're calling him our Zen, if we're calling him our Zenulus, but if we're going the other Zen, nah, we don't count the other Zen. We only talk about Zenulus here.
Yeah, look, the other Zen is a whole nother league entirely. I think that what we're used to here at the AEL still, Exile. Gonna try to drop this one down to Ultraviolet, stays on the play, back down to ADOS, 1, 2, 3! And it's the first goal to the Griffin side.
What a goal as well. What a carry from Exile. The pass 1, 2, 3, like you said, to Ultraviolet. ADOS to take the shot as well. The Griffith side is gelling right now. They have their synergy. They know where each other are. There's that kind of reading the play as well. They know where their teammates are. They know where to expect one another. Yeah. And it's resulting in their goals right now.
I mean, I can't blame the defense for missing that one. I was expecting Ultraviolet to take the shot there, not throw it down to the teammate. It was a screamer of a shot too, so really well done for the Griffin side to get that early lead. And it doesn't look like they're intending on slowing up, at least not yet. Ball off the backboard. Actually goes awry. Galaxy's got the open net, and we're tied 1-0.
Yep, this is going to be a game indeed. Virgo with a massive pass to Galaxy, who almost looked a little bit awkward in the air there. I was a little bit worried for Galaxy just then. but nonetheless managed to get the perfect touch on the ball to get it into the net ahead of any of the Griffith defenders.
Oh, Exile across that midfield line, not able to get it past Virgo. Ultraviolet gonna race back, pops it up. Galaxy now with the chance to stay behind the ball. Unable to go too far, or at least not too much further with it. Ultraviolet now puts one towards the goal, but not quite in it, as pressure stays on the board. Still 1-all. Too shocking, at least just yet. Pass across. Exile stays on the play. And now they're actually going to cross that midfield line. Towards the goal we go. But AEST not fast enough to put it in.
That was a great touch from Exile on the sidewall. Ball looking super dangerous for UOM right now, but Galaxy just bought enough time to be able to get there in time for the save. Virgo again having to defend for his life after shot is put on from Griffith right now. The ball is stuffed down in the Griffith offensive end, and all three of UOM's players are having to play defense right now.
They are. Still 2:45 to go. Double commit off the backboard. Jeremy tries to maintain possession. Unable to do too much more with it. Shots on Virgo. Free touch though. And absolutely drills this one back to the blue side. Second touch. There was a chance, Morgie. There was a chance.
Oh, Exile just set UOM up for a goal, but they weren't able to capitalize on that. Exile was looking really awkward in the corner there. I didn't think he was going to get any touch that was going to be a benefit to Griffith. So unfortunate that UOM wasn't able to read that one, but Ultraviolet with a crazy shot as well. Great touch to pop the ball up to the backboard, gets the second touch, follows it up, and sends it straight into net.
I feel bad for Galaxy right there, not able to keep up with the play, and how could you in that situation? 2-1 lead. Griffith just over 2 minutes away from icing this series with a sweep. Save is made. Ultraviolet pushes it out to safety, and AEST will clear it through.
Oh, that's devastating, and the counter attack as well from AEST. From the entire Griffith side, but particularly from AEST here to send it to the sidewall and get a shot before any of UOM's players could make it back in time to save that is huge.
That was a massive play, and now it's a massive advantage for this Griffith side. 2 goals up. Expectation would be for them to hold on in this position. As we continue along, it's going to be more pressure kind of wrapping itself around. I mean, this is it. UOM back against the wall. They need to win this game. They need 2 late goals. Who are we relying on, Morgie?
I don't know, actually. I feel like obviously the reliance was on Jeremy coming into this to step up in LeBeastman's place, but I feel like we've seen some really good offense out of Virgo. I'm wanting to see a little bit more from Virgo right now. Galaxy as well is usually quite a star player for this roster. I feel like I've said in previous series, I don't think it's necessarily that UOM are playing terribly right now. I think they're playing their game, they're playing their play style, but so are Griffith.
Yeah, I mean, this has been kind of similar to what we saw out of QUT. Griffith just seems like they're, showing us why they are a top 4 team, and this is the kind of form that I'm hoping we're going to see from them moving on into the semifinals in 2 weeks' time. Now, who they're going to be up against, we're going to find out our next series, but for now, 50 seconds remaining. Clear up. Ball falls down. Caught by Virgo, who's going to try to bring this one back. First touch just goes a little bit awry. And as the timer keeps whittling down, it's looking more and more likely UOM is going to be finishing this Elite Series with an 0-8 record.
Oh, that's so devastating, especially for a new team coming into the league. It's not what we wanted to see. I was really rooting for UOM to get a win a lot of these weeks, really. I wanted to see something on the board for them, and they would not want to be going out of the competition like this. But there's always next season, there's always more opportunity, and in the off season, you got to train, you got to scrim, you got to work hard. We've seen teams come back. We've seen teams perform poorly. There's an alliteration. In one season and then come back the next, so they definitely have more opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I look at teams like QUT, I look at, some of the runs that, even UCID has gone through in the past. I mean, it has happened. Rocket League is a fickle mistress, and, well, with 0 seconds remaining, ball hits the ground, as do UOM's chances, and, well, record as well. It has hit the ground, up in flames, but for Griffith, They're going to be going to the top 4 with a 5-2 record, momentum on their side, victory well earned.
Also, very telltale of Griffith tonight, wanting to show that they're a dominant squad in this playoffs contention as well. Winning their final week with a sweep is definitely a bold statement indeed.
It is a bold statement. We're going to be having an interview with AOC to talk about that series in just a few moments here. And before we kind of get them on, Morgie, my next question I have to ask for you right now, this Griffith playing like this, is this the year they get back to that finals? Do we actually see them, get through that semifinal matchup?
Oh, that's tricky because I feel like Griffith, obviously they took out second place last season, so we know that they play well in playoffs. It's hard to get the win over UNSW, but we know that they perform well in playoffs. UON though, I feel like they've been super strong this season. QUT as well have, as we just saw last match, they are definitely on point this week, and they're going into the playoffs really, really strongly as well. So it's really tricky to call. What do you think?
I mean, well, fortunately, we don't have to pick between Griffith and QUT. As much as I would love that matchup, it's sort of a Queensland showdown. I think, if they play like this, their chances are going to be pretty good. Also, slight change to the interview. It's not going to be ADOS joining us. Instead, we're going to be speaking with Ultraviolet in just a few moments. As soon as they get themselves set up, we'll hear from them. Because I'm curious what they think and who they want to play. And if they do, are coming in, I should say, if they are coming in expecting that matchup against UON, where they feel they kind of look in that regards. Granted, we won't know who they're playing against until the end of our third series, which will determine it. But for now, we have Ultraviolet with us. Congratulations, 5-2 season, secured the number 3 seed last week, but it has to be nice, Ultraviolet, to win going into the top 4.
Yeah, it's a very, very good feeling. We did start a little bit shaky this season, but us boys, we managed to get back into the fight, into the top 4, and we secured our place in the top 4.
No, you definitely performed well, especially towards the end of this season, and you're going into the playoffs in pretty good contention as well for a good spot. I gotta ask, just on that game, was there any pressure going into that, or you didn't really care because but you didn't really mind because you knew you had your playoff spot locked in already?
Yeah, I think we were just we weren't really messing around. We were still playing, combing and stuff, but we sort of knew that we were winning the game, winning the series, because I don't want to
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, if you don't want to throw some flame, maybe I will. Exile calling you out in game number 2 right there for making a mistake. Okay, what is that about? What is the team dynamic happening there in that situation?
Nah, it's all part of the plan, It's just that friendly, back and forth insults, all part of the process.
So, but what did you do? That's what I'm curious about. What did you do, or was there nothing there? Was it his mistake?
I think it was the double commit that Exile and I did that costed us the goal. But it was probably my fault because I went up. I saw Exile go. I was like, I'll go up as well. So
yeah, I think that's just team cohesion, right? You're just following your teammate. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
No, it happens. It happens. I guess the thing I want to look forward to is obviously in playoffs, you guys have locked in your spot. I think fairly at this point solidly into the 3rd spot position for playoffs, which means that first off you'd be coming against 2nd seed, which will be determined next game. We've got UNSW coming up against UON, so currently 1 versus 2. If UON get the win over UNSW, then they, I think, will be taking out the seed potentially. So I gotta ask, I think I know the answer, but who would you rather come up against first?
Well, we would rather not go up against UNSW in semi-finals. So I think we would want UNSW to win to take top seed, and then we verse whoever comes second, which I think would be UON.
Yeah, it would be UON.
So it'll be revenge for us.
Excellent.
Good matchup.
Last kind of question I'm going to throw your way. I notice you're wearing a jersey that isn't the Griffith Goblins jersey that ADOS, revealed he last minute slammed on before the interview. What jersey is that, and where's your Griffith one?
know that
I
one.
actually don't have a Griffith jersey.
Ah,
But this is the Neptune Esports jersey that I have. I was playing with Neptune.
yeah.
Yeah, last season.
I mean that is a shout out. It's cool to see. It looks good. All right. I like the Neptune, coming back in this situation. Anyway, thank you for joining us for the interview, and good luck in the semifinals.
Thank you guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was Ultraviolet joining with us. Look, we're going to be going to our mid-stream break. When we come back, we'll have an interview with UOM, and then the series to determine who's getting that #1 seed. We'll find out if New South Wales can go undefeated or if UON can make the upset happen when we return. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, got a little bit distracted by UON, but before we talk too much about them, joining us to have a chat for the first time, actually, we're bringing Galaxy on from
Hello.
Melbourne University. Galaxy, welcome.
Thank
First
you.
interview. Congratulations on a season well played. A bit unfortunate it didn't go your way, but how was the experience for you guys?
It was alright. It was pretty fun to be able to play. The production's done a great job as well, so it's good to be a part of it.
Oh, lovely to hear. And I mean, you guys still have opportunities left. You still have opportunities in opens as well.
Yeah.
Are you excited to keep playing?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully the competition, we can take advantage of and hopefully get some wins under our belt. But I think it'll be fun, especially for the teammates.
And I have to ask too, because for a squad coming into the Elite Series, you have to kind of qualify into it. You get invited. What were your expectations then? Coming into it first time, were you expecting to be vying for the playoffs? Were you just here to kind of see where you sit as a whole? What were the expectations, and do you feel like you've realized some of them?
Honestly, coming into it, we kind of wanted to see where we would sit. Being invited to it felt pretty surreal, to be honest. I didn't think we'd get there. But yeah, we had no clue really how the competition would be. I was afraid there would be SSL teams and then Champ 3 teams. So I think we just kind of found where we sat. So right now I'm thinking maybe we're a little too good for Open, but not too good to be doing well in Elite. So hopefully next semester we can sort of improve on that and get maybe a playoff push going.
Yeah, well, the Elite Series is tricky, and you've got some players in this league who have had a lot of competitive experience as well, who have had RLCS experience as well. So it is tricky, and I think you are right. There is a pretty good mix of teams, but with that experience, with time comes experience, and with that experience comes more solid play. One thing I'd love to ask is, have you guys played together before? Have you played outside of the AEL? Do you play in other tournaments or anything?
Well, we did play last semester in Open, so that was me, Burger, and then another teammate that didn't play this semester. But for Jeremy and LaBeastman, we didn't play together before. Me and Burger did RLCS together with our old teammate as well. We almost made day 2, so it's a pretty fun experience. But other than that, we just play a bit of ranked, every now and then.
Yeah.
And now, if we were to run this Elite Series back, so if you were to get a second chance back from day 1, which team do you feel like, if we could have gotten them again, we would have won that series guaranteed? Who do you think you would take down next time you play them?
Honestly, I think any of the bottom 3 teams right in front of us, we weren't getting blown out. We had a foot in the door, but just couldn't really finish it. So I think we had another chance, a bit more practice. We definitely could steal some wins and kind of get higher up on the ladder there.
All right.
Oh, for sure. You came close a couple of times.
Yeah. But either way, look, Galaxy, it was still fun watching your team. Said it on broadcast. Normally when a team, goes 0-8, the series are always one-sided, but you guys always kind of played aggressively, and there was a lot of super close series. So in that regards, again, congratulations. For our first time in the Elite Series, you did well, and I do hope to see you back in the Elite Series next year.
Yep, we hope to be back.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Galaxy, for joining us. It is good to hear from every single team. And that's kind of why I like the last day of the season, Morgie, because we do get to hear from pretty much everyone who we haven't gotten to up to this point. And you know who also loves to hear from everybody? Our lovely sponsors. They love to hear, happy players in the event that they're helping us support.
Of course, we wouldn't be here without the sponsors. We wouldn't be able to run this event the way we do. We wouldn't have the setup. We wouldn't have these incredible teams playing either if it wasn't for the sponsors. So we have to thank them, of course. We've got AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. So if you're in the need for a monitor, I would go looking them up right now. Details are below. And of course, if you're hungry, we've got Indomie the Noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavours available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. I think that's a great shout. I think if you're in the audience right now and you're sitting there, you're watching cast, you're watching these teams face off in the final week before playoffs, you got to get yourself a bowl of noodles. 100%.
I'm hungry. I could go for some right now, not going to lie. I think I probably am going to go for some at the end of the broadcast today. I've got some fresh salmon I'm going to kind of cook up, mix in with it.
Ooh.
Spicy. Because again, that's what you do with the Indomie. That's the best way. So when you mix some protein in, egg, salmon, chicken. I used to do steak sometimes. That's when you really get the most out of it. It's good. But let's talk about this upcoming series, Margie, because this is the big one. First place, number 1 seed on the line, New South Wales, Diggs, Steve, Tadagane. They're bringing their A roster, UON, Azura, Eminent, Speedy. Plus, there are rumors that Spud might make an appearance as well.
That'll definitely be a bit of fun if Spud does manage to make an appearance. I would be keen to see that. But for now, we do have our main roster on both sides of this. And usually when we're in the final week and we have our playoffs positions locked in, we're not usually looking at a lot of pressure. I guess seeding can play into it sometimes. But a lot of teams are just, glad they're relieved they've locked in their position. But in saying that, seeding does come on the line for these two teams tonight. This is essentially, like Formal said earlier, this is almost a bit of a grand final in advance. These teams right now are both vying for that first seed. It's the pride, it's the respect that's on the line for these teams right now. UNSW currently sitting in that position, but if UON managed to cause this, I guess essentially an upset tonight and take UNSW out, they do have the opportunity at that first seed spot.
What I find interesting too, though, is like the mentality of maybe the team sitting in 3rd and 4th seed, because they would each rather play UON. We heard as much from them both. But if UON comes in and beats New South Wales, is that really the team you want to go up against? I don't know. We'll see, though. Granted, that would be considered an upset if it does fall that way. UON, they've had a strong season. They've won all the tough matches they're supposed to, which is how come they are already in this spot, and maybe they can pull off the greatest upset of them all. But on the opposite side, we've never had a team go undefeated through the group stage in the Elite Series. Maybe that changes tonight as we see New South Wales take on UON.
Oh, absolutely. UNSW would want to be coming out of the regular season or the regular weeks of this season with that under their belt. That title of being undefeated under their belt would be huge. But defending against UON is a huge ask. We've seen cracks out of UNSW, Formal. We've seen other teams take games off them. We haven't seen a series taken off them yet, but we've seen games taken off them, and that's just the start. If anyone's going to take a series off them, it is UON.
We'll see if they will be able to find it. As the throw being played through the corner, sees the Diggs, try to create some space. I mean, look, the University of New South Wales, I feel like we've talked about this team so often and sort of what to expect from them, especially when this roster comes out onto play. Tadagane and Steve have potential, and even more so than that, have delivered on being probably the 2 best players in this event. Diggs has kept up with them, obviously, pretty striking in the Merc, only Merc main that we see in this event, but has been rising to that same level from the other 2, and it's a big reason why everyone fears this squad. All 3 members can perform.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like Diggs was, and we've talked about this in other weeks, but Diggs, like in previous seasons, was that support player, was that 3rd man role, given the roster he is on, but he's put in the training, he's put in the effort, he now matches the skill of his 2 teammates, and that is why this team is so dominant.
Tadagane not only avoids the bump, but finds the touch across the middle of the field. Why he is so scary, the control is absolutely next level, and now Tadagane is going to have a chance. Eminence, though, does enough to play keep away, and if we're looking to see UON get a victory, it's Eminence who I'm looking at to step up in this match.
Oh, definitely. Eminence was that new player on this roster coming into this season. I remember week 1, not week 1, week 2, because I wasn't here week 1. Jake and I talking about Eminence and just saying, we still didn't quite know what to expect, but he's come in week on, really, really strong, a key player for this roster. But UON are already looking like they're in danger with UNSW up by a goal already.
Gonna see Eminence now with the chance to go straight down the middle. Doesn't get the bump on Diggs, though. Was looking for the air dribble bump. That would have been a nice response. I'm actually a little bit surprised, Marky. We haven't seen more air dribble bumps in this event, as more bumps coming from Azura into the net. Physicality looking to be the early name of the game for UON.
Oh, definitely. Well, I feel like, I don't know, the air dribble bumps, it's a bit of a dirty play sometimes. And I feel like you see a lot of that kind of thing in maybe RLCS, but I think you're right. We haven't seen too much of that in this league. Maybe we'll start to see that in playoffs. Maybe the teams are going to have to change their tactics up a little bit if they want to cause a bit of a disruption to this competition, so maybe they'll start coming out.
Look, My response to that was if you know, do whatever it takes to win, I suppose. I disagree with it being considered a dirty play. I think it is it's tough to pull off IMO. Maybe it's because I'm lower skill at this game, but I make it happen. Score points how you can, especially when you're going up against one of the best teams, if not the best team this competition has seen.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, Paul. If I've got the opportunity to edge roll up, I'm taking it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Oh, double demo!
Oh, hang on a second. Open net. The double demo giving UON an opportunity to equalize here.
Wasn't quite the demo, but it was the demo bump from, as you can see, Diggs was a little bit too slow in getting back, but that's what I mean. The physicality from UON seems to be their answer right now against New South Wales, and it's keeping this game competitive.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like we've seen a little bit of physicality scattered from a lot of the teams throughout the season, but no team ultimately taking like advantage of that against UNSW until, you know, they really put on the back foot and they need to do something crazy. They need to change up their play style. All of a sudden teams start playing aggressively, they start demoing, they start bumping. But that physicality isn't consistent with any team. I feel like UON would be the most consistent with the aggressive physicality, but definitely something to take advantage of against UNSW.
Here we go, Azura. Good jobs avoiding, you know, the net. Speedy avoids the demo pinch. Does that go in? No! Just off the post, a chance to go ahead, and now the ball comes the other way. Azura does what they can to keep the ball away from Diggs. Under a minute left, and the play is going very back and forth.
Oh, that would have been devastating for UNSW. They would have been really put on the back foot there, needing, and we don't see that out of UNSW too often. We don't see them, even in the games that they have lost, it's not often that they're really chasing another team. They've lost goals towards the end of games and ultimately lost the games from that. But if UON could win this game 1, I think they're in for a decent chance at winning the series if they can keep their momentum up.
I have to agree. Still 15 seconds remaining in this one, and it's looking like we are going to be seeing that game 1 overtime. Midfield pop up. Off the backboard, Speedy is there though. Diggs across, but Steve went too far forward. A chance for it to go the other way. Eminence misses. Speedy does not. Lob shot. Caught by Tadagane. And you'd have to think they will let this ball drop, but UON gets their first Speedy underneath, and we go to overtime.
Tadagane's accidental bump on Steve just then, I thought that was game over for UNSW, with just Diggs being left back in defense on his own with 3 players on the attack. But nonetheless, the ball did drop, and we are in OT. Both teams fighting for their life right now to stay alive in this series.
See what they can bring. Tie game 1-1. Steve loses the challenge to Azura. Underneath, Diggs comes off the backboard. Don't go too much further than that afterwards. As Speedy gets a light touch. Tadagane wants to stay with it, but again, it's Azura who crosses that midfield line. Speedy looks to drop it down. Diggs underneath makes a very nice first save. I mean, it would be so big if UON can get this game 1 victory, because it isn't a situation where we've seen, you know, New South Wales maybe you go lax. Save made by Diggs. New South Wales is playing well, Morgie. They're bringing it looks like very close to their A game, and yet UON has been right there with them.
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't say UNSW have taken their foot off the accelerator at all, but I would say UON have come hard into this game. They're wanting to cause that upset. They're wanting to take a win off UNSW and not let them go into the playoffs with a clean sheet. They also want that first seed position. They want to go into the playoffs taking on 4th seed first. That gives them all the more opportunity to get into the grand final as well. So everything's on the line for them right now.
Oh, that said, ball's in a very dangerous spot. Not going to be taken advantage of. Steve now from underneath tries to reverse into the play. Ball winds up in possession for Diggs. We'll go back to the corner, trying to pass it back to Tadagane, but the ball stays too close to the wall. Caught by Eminence, who wins the 50, but the follow-up isn't immediately there. 100 seconds into this overtime, still no goal.
Yeah, almost looking like a double commit from UON right there. 2 players went up the ball, but you can tell when a team has good comms when you see a double commit on the way to happening and you see one player pull out of it quickly enough for the other player to still take control of the ball. I think that's something that we can, you know, it's hard to see comms visually, but sometimes we do manage to get a glimpse of that, and I think we see that really well with UON.
I've been seeing it a few times, and now through the corner we go. Speedy loses out to Steve. Azura will catch, and now try to drive across the midfield line. Swing and a miss from Diggs. Ball rolls all the way to the backward. It's just a shot from Azura. Follows it up with the bump. Eminem's needs to get that ball centered. Wasn't quite fast enough. So again, play continues already. 2.5 minutes here into overtime in game one. Steve with the chance. Steve with the second touch. Backward down. Shots on and in. Tanagane ends it in OT.
What a great setup from Steve as well, to be able to get that ball into a good position for Tata to take a nice easy tap over Speedy straight into net, past Eminence as well, who had already gone up for the jump. UNSW have secured the first game in this series.
Big first win for New South Wales. They're going to be happy with that one, but super impressed with UON. The fact that they were able to get right up in this, the fact that they were able to take it to such a long overtime, and it's got to give them confidence, right? Because knowing, and that's the big thing for UON, because they're obviously kind of going to be working under the assumption we can win our semifinal match. We're going to have to play these guys again. Let's prove to them that we can beat them. Let's prove to us that we can beat them and keep this as competitive as possible. And that's kind of what we're getting here in game number one.
Absolutely. And I think the factor we are forgetting, Formal, as well, if there is any team in this league who has completed or who has managed to pull off the most reverse sweeps. I'm not saying we're at reverse sweep yet. UNSW, you need to win this second game for that to happen. But UON have had the most reverse sweeps I've seen out of any team consistently ever. So I think even if UNSW managed to win this second game, I still wouldn't call that series win.
I think they could just continue right where they left off and maybe keep building forward. It would have that chance, as we do see ball out through the corner. Not quite where it needs to be. Tanagane is going to start to bring it back. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be interesting. It would be interesting for the team that constantly gets stronger to see what they can bring here, but instead it's going to be Eminence. I'm just not convinced they're going to lose this game too.
Well, you're not convinced UON's going to win lose the game too?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they've proven they can take a game, at least.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, they've put the pressure on, but I think, I mean, UNSW, UON, one of the things that they will, I don't know if they're necessarily aiming for this, but they want to break UNSW. I get the feeling. Obviously, they don't want UNSW to get this win and have the clean sheet going in playoffs, but they want to take that away from them. They want to ruin that sense of untouchability. And I think that getting a reverse sweep would put the nail in the coffin just that little bit more.
It would definitely help, but again, I think the physical gameplay as well. Like, they're the first team I've really seen muscle University of New South Wales around. Although Diggs, when you win 50s like that, it doesn't matter. 1-0 lead to the New South Wales side.
Diggs is definitely having a good week or a good start to this series. As I said before, Diggs has come a long way as a player. We can see how critical he is to this side. I think he still sometimes does play that kind of third man role a little bit more than he pushes up, but when he pushes up into offense, he doesn't miss.
No, especially not in situations like that. So pretty good goal for Diggs and for the New South Wales side. That said, ball's coming right on back. Tanagane. I don't know how they find the angle to get that ball perfectly in the corner when they're screaming at it. It looked like it was for sure going to be an own goal. Now on the attacking half, New South Wales could go up by 2 as Steve controls it in the middle of the field.
Or I will admit, for a split second there, I thought Tata was one of the UON players, and I thought, oh no, we've got an open net, the ball's going straight in. I also can't believe he got the angle on that to send it to the corner, given the position he was in, but that's just Tanagane for him. We've seen him so many weeks, we've seen the potential he has as a player, we've seen obviously the professional experience he has as a player as well. That's just the way he rolls.
You know, every time you see like a Rocket League package and like highlights, I should say, it's always, you know, the craziest goals, right? When are we going to get like the big saves, you know, and like the great defensive touch highlight montage? Because they can be just as impressive as Tanagane shows he can play both sides, getting the second goal.
Actually, that's a good point, Paul. I haven't thought about that too much, but I have to agree, when we see highlights videos or montages, it's always about the crazy goals, but never about the insane saves, and I feel like there's not enough recognition of how many insane saves we really have seen in this series.
Yeah, and then that's something that's not just AEL. Like, obviously, that's a universal A universal complaint I have, you can direct these problems mostly to the highlight montages and clips that you see on Twitter, right? Everyone shows off their fancy goal, but never their fancy saves. Well, I want to see more of that as we get a nice save from Azure right there after Speedy comes up a little bit short. Also going to make its way to that middle of the pitch. Sonagane, next one with the chance, has Steve underneath. The two looking to connect, ball to the backboard, no shot to be found.
UNSW looking super strong right now, looking in form as they are pretty much every week anyway. We've seen them off a couple of weeks. We have seen them have their bad days as well. We've seen the players individually have their bad days, so it's possible, but I don't feel like today's a bad day.
No, this is going pretty good. And you know what might make today better, though, as well? Because going back to some of the rumors we're talking about leading into this one, if Spud was going to make an appearance, the rumor was it's if, you know, UON goes down 0-2. Spud might show up. So we're talking about reverse sweeps, right? We're talking about wanting to see Spud out there on the pitch. Could be coming together.
Spud's our super sub reverse sweep. Super sub reverse sweep merchant, surely. That is exactly what is needed right now for UON to pull off this reverse sweep, because it's looking like it's going to have to be a reverse sweep for them.
I've never cooked potatoes. I'm just saying. I'm just, you know, there's like I don't mind potato, but it's just not in my like cooking arsenal. So is it what was maybe I need more Spud in my diet? That maybe we need more of that out there. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Under a minute to go. Tanagane down to dig. Shots on, not in net.
Hey, but Formal, what about like hot chips or something? What about like fries or chips or?
Chips are overrated and are only good.
Oh, Formal! That is the worst insult I've ever been thrown towards me. What do you mean chips are overrated? Actually, no, you've got a weird HSP order as well. I don't know about this one. I don't want to delve into this conversation too far.
Actually, no, that's not true. Chips are also good in California burritos and in nacho fries. It depends on the circumstance. Okay, so when I say chips are overrated, maybe it's because homemade chips never come out good. All right?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It depends. Are you buying like frozen chips?
No, I try to make my own, and it just never gets as crispy as I want. Here we go. 10 seconds remaining. Gonna be a pitch across to the other side as we see Speedy in the middle of the pitch lose out. Diggs wants to get that next touch. Not going to find it. Timer will hit 0. And it's going to be a 2-1 victory to the University of New South Wales. I'm hoping we see the potato now, all right? Yeah, prove me wrong, Mormy. Prove to me that Spud can make some good chips, and maybe we'll see how game 3 goes.
I honestly, after these comments we're getting from you, Formal, I'm hoping Spud comes in and absolutely destroys everybody. Does it for the chips. I can see chat. Everyone's torn. I'm actually seeing some comments about chips being underrated, but I know the admin team is on my side. That's all that matters. Okay. Chat, don't ask Formal about his HSP order. Please do me a favor. Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
All right, look. Here's what here's what I'll say on the chips front, all right? Like, if I have a choice between getting, you know, a burger, chips, and a drink, or 2 burgers, I'm taking the 2 burgers. I'd rather have 2 burgers than the meal thing.
No, you take that back. No, Formal, you gotta have the chips with the burger.
The chips is just filler to make you feel more full.
I guess it depends on the day that you ask me, but some days I'll take a whole bowl over. Like, I would take a big bowl of chips over 2 burgers.
Well, you know what? If we ever get meals, I'll have the burger, you'll have the chips, all right? We'll split it right there. Boom. Easy done.
Yep, that works. That works.
Easy done. That's also In-N-Out, which I know doesn't exist in Australia. They had like the animal style fries. Now those are a little bit different because that's the other thing. All right, I'm doubling down on this one. Shoestring fries or shoestring chips are the best kind of chips, and KFC chips are the worst.
No, KFC. Wait, I like the seasoning, but they're not crispy enough. Honestly,
it's soggy mess. They're awful, and that's because what's got ingrained into me. Because like everyone always talks about how great the KFC chips are, and it's just like, no.
No. Okay, I may be slightly controversial opinion, but you can't knock it till you try it. Hungry Jack's chips are the best chips. They have there's a mix of a good seasoning. There's like I think like a chicken salty kind of herby seasoning that they put on them. It's not just plain salt, and the chips are crispy as well, and they're not shoestring fries. I have to disagree. I like a thicker chip than a shoestring fries. I will take Hungry Jack's chips over Macca's chips.
I just get the onion rings at Hungry Jack's. Problem solved.
Ooh, good call. I mean,
Diggs, 1-0. And also, we are getting Bud. Why were we saying Spud before? Oh, here we go. 1-0 lead.
This entire time I've been sitting here going like, oh, was there a Spud, a player that we haven't seen before? No, I thought they were different players. I was like, who's Spud? We've got Spud. Okay, I'm rolling with it. We've got Spud coming
Spud
into
and Bud, same dude. Fun fact.
God, please change your name and make us not look too insane, please. I beg. Oh no, okay, we can just cut the last.
No, I stand by my chips comments. I was.
It's.
I didn't know who Spud was. I thought it was someone from earlier weeks.
Yeah, me too. I was like, who's this?
Yeah, week 1. You know, the week we weren't there. That's when Spud popped off.
Okay, I don't want to call out BK, but I swear I heard Spud.
I heard Spud from production as well.
Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. We're not getting the blame on this one.
Oh, we're gonna have to roll back. We're gonna have to roll back the audio there. All right, I think. Here we go, though. 2-0. AGON clears it across the middle of the field. It's the Anchorman thing. We just read the teleprompter in front of them, right?
Exactly. Just say what we're gonna say. But it delved into an interesting conversation. We found out some interesting fun facts about Formal, ladies and gentlemen. And we can all just agree that chips are great and be done with it. But UNSW already 2 goals up in this series. It's not looking good for UON right now. As we said before, they are the reverse sweep merchants. They have the ability to do it more so than any other team, but they're off to a rough start in this game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as Diggs is going to put a shot on. Top post not in. Follow-up is there from Steve. 3-0 lead. And more evidence that UON needs to sub Spud into this game.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to bring Spud into this. We need Spud and Bud on the same team. That's the winning duo.
All I'm saying, if Spud was playing, it'd be 3-0 the other way. That's all I'm saying. Here we go. Azura.
So we would have no chance.
Yeah, exactly. No one can beat the power of Spud. Pass down to Eminence. That's a good start. Open net. Azura makes it a 3-1 game.
Beautiful. We love to see it. We're starting to see a bit of a comeback from UON. We're seeing a bit of fire out of them as well. Diggs just a little bit awkward on the save there without any boost. Tata couldn't read it either. And Azura manages to score a goal for UON.
Oh, man. 3-1 game. And we're going to see the clear back up to that other side. Steve's going to try to collect outside the corner. How come I'm getting flamed by production and not you? What is this?
No, this is because of the hot chips comment. I know exactly why they're flaming you, because you hate chips and I said chips are great. So
okay, that's
winning opinion.
Okay, that's fine. AGON 4-1 pass across it in. This game 3 is looking very strong for New South Wales right now. To put it mildly, attacks have been clicking, passes have been connecting. 3 goals down already as Bud goes the wrong way with the ball. Here comes AGON. Not able to find a teammate.
I need this game to go to OT because I am bright red and don't want to be on camera right now from laughing. But in order for that to happen, UON are going to need to get at least another 4 goals in what's just over half a game. So it's a tricky ask when UNSW are playing as well as they're playing. That is an insane goal from Steve.
From Diggs and Steve. That pass was exactly where it needed to be. I have no idea how Steve reads it from that angle. A very Anthus-like goal right there out of Steve, which I'm sure... Actually, to be honest, I'm not sure Steve would like that comparison. Steve would want that to be a Steve-like goal. Because we've seen him pull that off in RLCS as well, so... credit where it's due. Here we go, though. 5-1. Steve tries to stay on the play. I'll tap on Eminence, but isn't able to do much with that.
I mean, was it last week or the week before that we established with Diggs on interview that a Steve goal is a is a very unexpected goal, is a goal that doesn't look like it's going to make any sense, but sends into the top corner of net nonetheless. We've seen some Steve goals this season. We've seen plenty of Steve goals, and we've seen a lot of classic clinical goals out of him as well.
It's why it's so tough to kind of pick like who is the star player on this New South Wales team, because on one hand, an argument can be made with Tadagane being the most consistent player, but Steve scores goals that just make you sort of like drop your jaw, mouth agape. How did he hit that? As we just saw previously, and we've seen pretty much at least one of those goals that feels like every series Steve is in.
I tend to agree with that one. I think Steve scores more of those kind of showy, necky, unexpected goals that come in clutch right when you need them to. But I think I have to agree that Tada is super consistent. But I would also say that Steve's really consistent as well. I'd say that Tada is probably slightly more. I'd say Tada's more mechanical than Steve and consistent. But I think Steve maybe has slightly more consistency just week on week. He's a very solid player.
It's tough. Like, if you had to pick one to build a team around, like, which direction do you go, right? That, for me, it's a tough between the two. Also, Tadagane didn't get the angle, but Eminence lends a helping hand, so it's going to be 6-1 in this one with just under a minute to go.
This is not looking good for UON. I think this may be GG's. I think this is looking like it's going to be a bit of a sweep. We've got the Brazil with 50 seconds left. I think maybe, I don't think it's going to end on a Brazil. I think there will be more goals coming out of this. I think UON potentially have given up at this point.
I think we need Spud in.
I think we need Spud in.
It's not too late. It's not too late to sub in Spud. Hopefully Spud makes an appearance in playoffs, alright? Like, that's what we're hoping.
Surely. If honestly, I want to see the Spud next season. I want to see maybe all the players just change their names. Maybe we have a field full of Spuds. I mean, wouldn't that be a dream?
UON's already changed all their profile pictures, so why not? Here we go. You know, Spud is code word for the return of Baked Potato, even though Baked Potato played for it's long since retired. Maybe that's the direction we go. Here we are, though. Steve and Tadagane fighting each other for the ball. It's going to be left to Tadagane, but you got to score when you call your teammate off. Doesn't quite put it in this time. Timer ticks down, though, and New South Wales, for the first time in Elite Series history, is going to be undefeated through the regular season.
Insane. And to finish with a sweep as well, with a series sweep as well, is absolutely huge for this UNSW side. They have performed incredibly throughout this entire season, and to end on a good win like that would be so important to them.
Yeah, we will see how much this momentum will carry over into the future rounds. They secure the #1 spot, so they will be going up against QUT. UON, it means they'll go up against the 3rd seed in Griffith as well. So that's going to be our semifinals. The stage has now been set, Morgie, and again, that second semifinal, UON versus Griffith, that's the series I am really looking forward to.
Oh, absolutely. I think that'll be really telltale. I think that'll be a really tight series. If UNSW is playing the way they're playing right now, the other series will be a lot trickier, but we love a tight series, so that 2nd versus 3rd seed spot will be really exciting.
It will be a lot of fun. Look, we're going to be going to a break. When we come back, we will have our interview with, I believe, it will be with Diggs, assuming everything goes through. Again, we sometimes interviews curveballs at the last second. All right, we had a surprise Ultraviolet. Maybe we'll get a surprise Steve, for once in this one. But now, it's going to be an interview with Diggs when we return, and then our final game of the regular season. So stick around. One game left tonight here on the Elite Series. It has been 4 seasons we have run, the AEL Elite Series, a format where we take the top 8 intervarsity teams, invite them to compete, and never once have we had a team go undefeated through the group stage this season as it was until now. So joining us on the, precipice of that victory, or actually, no, they've kind of passed over it, haven't they? Because they've won it all through. AGON joining us from the University of New South Wales. Congratulations on the perfect regular season.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah, very happy with it. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't been done before, since there's been pros. But it's very cool to be the first to do it.
Well, usually with the pro teams, there'd be 2 pro teams, right? And then one of those pro teams would have Zen, and Zen would beat the other pro team and then troll away a game later on. But you guys didn't do that. It actually looked like you were challenged by AGON quite a bit in that first game. Did they, come out a little more competitive than you were expecting?
Oh no, 100%. I thought we weren't even trolling. That first game could have gone either way. I even thought we played well. They were just that was probably the best that we've ever come against in the whole season. That one game. So yeah, we're definitely scared.
I think that's something we definitely noticed is you guys didn't let your foot off the accelerator. You guys were playing really well, but so were they, and they came into it really, really fighting. Were you worried during that first game that the series may have not gone your way, or did you feel like you could still bring it back?
Yeah, I mean, well, we were glad to win that, and also I was just gonna say that honestly, quite a high quality game for AEL as well. So that was good it was fun to play as well. But yeah, no, I think we still thought that we had it in the bag.
So we were having a discussion on cast, and I want to kind of pose the discussion a little bit to you. Mech, who is the stronger mech player? Would you say is the stronger mech player on your team? Is it you or Steve? Who would you trust in terms of gameplay mech? And then one step further, who's winning in a freestyle battle between you two?
Honestly, I think Steve's better. It's honestly crazy. He also has way less hours in the last year. If he even puts into half the hours I have, and I haven't put in that many, but even if he puts half, I think he'd be better, and I think he is, honestly. His raw talent is crazy.
Fair enough. Something I want to ask as well is, you guys, obviously you managed to get a clean sheet series-wise throughout the season. You did drop a couple of games there, though. Are you aiming for a absolutely clean sheet in the playoffs as well?
I mean, honestly, maybe not, because I think it's fun for it to be close. That first game was some of the most fun that we've had. So maybe obviously a clean sheet will be good. Maybe every game goes to OT type beat, but yeah, maybe a fun clean sheet.
Yeah,
the perfect series, 4-0, 4 overtimes, right? That just. Fair enough. Your first game as well now, it has going to be confirmed. It is going to be against the QUT side. How are you feeling going up against them, that matchup? Is there something about their playstyle that you might be a little bit concerned about, or do you think that out of the other 3 teams, this is the best matchup for you?
Honestly, I think by how they've gone, I think this was the easiest. But it's just I feel like they have an X factor, sort of Jacko's very good, so he could just suddenly pop off. So they've got the X factor that we should be worried about. But yeah, we feel pretty fine.
Is there anything outside of your usual training that you'll be doing in preparation ahead of the playoffs, or is it just the usual?
Yeah, maybe a couple extra 6-mans. Maybe a bit of ranked, bit of ones, but not really. I might do a scrim, but I'm not sure.
Who would you scrim? Last question: who would you scrim then out of all these other teams? Who are you publicly calling out? Hey, scrim with us right now.
I think maybe we go for someone out of the league. Maybe Power. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they would want to, because I feel like they might be slightly scared. But yeah, maybe Power.
All right, you hear that, Power? Get on it. Get this New South Wales season ready. They're gonna need it after going undefeated, perfect season. Can never be too sure.
Yeah,
Either way,
have they done that? I don't think so. they haven't got undefeated in AEL. So.
Oh no, they haven't got undefeated in AEL. I was about to say that. I'm pretty sure they went undefeated during the second split in RLCS though. So exactly who you'd want to learn from. Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Either way, thank you for joining us on AGON, and I'm expecting hopefully maybe we'll speak again from those playoff times.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go, Tadagane joining us there, obviously looking very, very strong. They are the team to beat, but that unfortunately means as well, it's going to be the last time we're going to be seeing these two teams in the Elite Series this year. ANU about to do battle against UTS, and I mean, UTS could be in that awkward spot as a new team, fresh joining the Elite Series, potentially finishing now with a winning record and still missing out on the playoffs.
Definitely, definitely. And looking at these rosters as well, I think we've got the subs playing for both sides, if I'm correct. We've got Shelbert back in instead of Metis, and we've got Ascent is UTS's sub as well, right? Or
I'm looking at this right now, and I'm just saying it's Shelbert. I do not believe is actually going to be in this one. Unfortunately, it is going to be Metis is going to be playing this one out, and we'll see how they go. There we go. The adjustment has been made. So ANU going to be coming in on that blue side, UTS in red, and I mean, look, Metis, last time we saw them on the pitch, actually played one of the best series we've seen from them. So hopefully ANU can get that performance again. I know this is a team that they're very emotional, Morky. It feels like they kind of get in their own heads sometimes, and it's held them back. They have been kind of snake bitten in that regard, but UTS, on the other hand, has been so impressive. I'm still leaning on a UTS victory here.
I definitely tend to agree. I think ANU, and you're right, they've been their own worst enemy at some point in that aspect, and you can see that how it reflects in their gameplay. UTS, on the other hand, they've been really solid the entire season. When we have had interviews with their players as well, they just really give off that cool, calm, collected energy. They give off that kind of humble energy when they win, when they lose. When they win, they're proud of themselves. When they lose, they take that as a point to learn from as well, which I think is really important. I think the losses are a little bit harder on ANU.
Yeah, I think they have been, and I mean, you can just look at the nature, though, some of ANU's losses as a potential reason why. I don't know. We'll see how this one does play off. I mean, if you want to talk about a learning experience and one that could get you hungrier for the future, if UTS wins this series and they finish, with the winning record but still come up short and miss out on the playoffs, that motivates a team, right? Like, that drives them to come back because they know they can get that top four. Realistically, the league gone perfectly, a 4-3 record gets you in the top four, but because of how chaotic and how top-heavy this season actually was, well, and they have come up, unfortunately, that little bit short, and all because of a week 1 match.
Oh yeah, that would be coming back to bite them a little bit now, and I feel like it's almost worse finishing 5th than it is finishing 8th. Like your earlier, who unfortunately, as we mentioned, came out of this season without any wins on the board whatsoever. I feel like I would actually rather be in that position than finish in 5th, because you tend to analyse every little mistake you made. You go, what if we did something differently in week 1? We're out of playoffs by 1 game, it could be. So
yeah,
that's tricky. But this team, they have a strong mental, so I feel like they will come back fighting next season.
It feels especially harsh as well because it's their first Elite Series, right? Their very first one. And that's what turns into the tiebreaker. That's what holds them back because they lost their first appearance. And it's rough, but it's kind of the nature of single round robin. You really don't get second chances. Every match is important. That said, that's all under the assumption they win this series. So far, it's kind of been the ANU show.
Oh, definitely. ANU have come out of the gates firing, and we've, like you said, was it last week or maybe it was the week before that last week they got swept on home. The week before they had that really, really close series. It went to game 5. We could see cogs turning in the players' heads as well, and we could see how much potential this side really does have. And I feel like we're seeing that at the start of this series as well, which is exciting.
Yeah, as we see, it's a nice 50. Duck now. Let's try and push this one through the corner. Has an attacker across the middle, not going to connect with Hazza. That said, Matisse still stays on the attack. Easy. Oh, it's going to get demoed, but the ball still winds up on the blue side of the pitch.
Love seeing Metis look for the demo on the rotate back as well, just taking out a defender on his way back to defense himself, but unfortunately none of ANU's players back in time to save that one.
No one was able to kind of piece that one through, and the end result now is first goal going in favor of our red side, and that could be helpful for UTS as Greasy pops it up. Anyone underneath? Not quite on the first attempt. Second attempt, though. No! Big swing and a miss, and that is a very awkward error. Fortunately, Greasy was able to rotate back to the save. Second shot, though, nearly goes through again. It's a Shen who comes up stopping the ball.
When we've seen Hazza nail those shots before, the power shots seem to be his specialty in particular for this ANU side. So that was very, very dangerous. And on the other end of the pitch as well, Spring Hopak, our man of the hour for UTS, or one of our star players we've talked about in the past, also taking advantage of a shot. But Ultimate Duck playing really, really clinical defense right now.
Yeah, Duck has been doing their part, and again, we said this so many times, but it really does feel like so much of ANU has been around the play of Ultimate Duck, and when they found success is when the other players have been able to support them and kind of help, contribute in stronger ways than maybe just finding passes. Case in point, well, situations like that, you have to win that challenge, you have to win that 50. They don't, and they wind up conceding the goal.
I think the other thing that unfortunately came into play there was Metis as third man not quite covering the net. As third man, you've always got to make sure you've got your back to the net, and that is your primary purpose. As much as you're trying to push up and create offensive plays, you need to be protecting the net as well, and just went a little bit too wide. And in a matter of seconds, we've seen UTS score another goal, a massive pass from Breezy as well to set up Ascent, and UTS are now in the lead.
Yeah, that was fast, and now 3-2. Very well done. I mean, this game started off looking so good for ANU, and this is that composure we were talking about with UTS as Hazza goes solo, hold the phone, tie ball game.
Never mind, not always the power shots, that is my mistake. Comes off with a very mechie play, over 3 defenders in net, nonetheless, to equalize this for ANU.
Yeah, that was great stuff, and let's see if they're going to continue that one as Ultimate Duck loses out on the 50. Shots coming from Spring Hopak, and boom, just like that, UTS retake the lead.
And in a matter of, I feel like what's only been 30 seconds for, we've had a goal, and then an equalizing goal, and then another goal, and an equalizing goal, and another goal. It's just going very, very back and forth right now between the two sides. It's really hard to call who is dominating this match. I think both are kind of getting a feel for each other at the moment, obviously having never played each other before. Coming into this final week with playoffs aren't on the line for either team, so we're going to see a bit of chaos.
Yeah, we are, and I mean that's what I'm kind of hoping for, right? Like, I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for to see how these teams will also kind of go in the open series as well, because of the way how things work. Bottom 4 teams drop down into that open series where they kind of works as a semi-regulation event too, where you kind of need to perform in that, where you play up against the top 4 performers of the open series to see who wins out, and that's a big best of 7, and there's still a chance to kind of win the open series out, which my expectation is with how UTS has been performing, they might be favorites to win open series this split.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're definitely right on that one, and I feel like it's a nice little thing for the bottom 4 teams when you don't make playoffs. You've still got that second chance, that opportunity. So it's not all doom and gloom for these sides either. But I do think you're right. I think UTS they were in strong contention for a top 4 position to go into playoffs in the Elite Series. Put them down into the Open Series, and I think they're going to put the other teams in.
I also think we're going to be seeing a good run from ANU, though, if they look like this. A great pass across the Metis, who will commit on that one to tap it in. 4-4 game, under a minute to go. This opening match, Morgie, kind of crazy how back and forth it's been.
Oh, absolutely. But this is the excitement we wanted. This is how we wanted to go out of the regular season, with a bang. And that is exactly what both of these teams are delivering for us right now. I will admit I did go into this, I guess, slightly favouring UTS, just given how well they performed in other weeks, but they don't have their main roster, and ANU have come into the end of this season really hot as well, so I think things have evened up a lot more.
That they have, and they have potential to even up even further after this. Ultimate Duck pops one up. No goal there. I mean, nothing is more even than in overtime, and that's where we could be headed unless Duck can do something crazy here. Gets the ball a bit more centered. Gets the reset off the wall. Shot is on and in. Are you kidding me? ANU take game 1.
No way. What a play from Ultimate Duck. Just showing how dangerous he is individually as a player. I know the goal obviously went to, that was to Metis who scored it. So great positioning from both Metis and Hazard going in to follow that one up. But without a mechie setup like that, without a pass like that from Ultimate Duck, we were going to OT.
That is crazy. And and like the most insane thing to me, right? That Ultimate Duck finishes that first game with 0 goals. And yet I walk away from that being like, yeah, they were the MVP in that first game.
Yeah.
Like, that was a nutty play. I mean, Greasy as well did very, very well on that UTS side, and I think UTS is going to be a little bit frustrated that they kind of let that first game get away from them with those first couple goals, but for ANU, that's how you want to start a series. But ANU always starts off strong, Morgie. They always seem to be a Game 1, Game 2 team. The question has been their consistency. Maybe this time they'll be able to finish the series out.
I do tend to agree there, Formal. I guess just speaking historically, that has been the case. Hopefully tonight is their night, or I mean, unfortunately, that is the case for UTS though. But I think it's going to happen eventually. They've got to change up their fate eventually and swing things the other way.
Yeah, that's what they're going to be hoping to do. Still, early days in this game, and early days in this series, realistically. As we'll see, AEST moving on, not able to get that goal. See, you know what stat I want to figure out as we're going to see Hazard across the Metis, but they're unable to put it in. In competitive matches, good save, found it right more. Nope, gotta finish the question. In competitive matches, what is the percentage of games won by the team who scores first? Like, what is the actual percentage?
Ooh, that's, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd definitely be curious to find that out. I think that. No, we've had some high scoring games this season, but we've had some games that have ultimately relied on that 1-0 result in a game anyway. So I think it would definitely skew the way of the team that gets that first goal, purely based on that. I mean.
Yeah, I mean it would be like I would hope it's above 50%. Like that would it would kind of be insane if. On average, the team that scores first loses. That just doesn't make sense. But I just want to know how vital that's in the past. I'd be curious on that. This is coming from a place of baseball where like there was a stat being like kind of put out today. It was like the team that wins the first game in the series, in the best of 3 series, wins 88% of the time. But I want to apply that to Rocket League and see what it is. Anyways, that shot should have gone in. I don't know how that save was fouled.
Oh, Ultimate Duck as well, looking for the shot that just went a little bit too wide there. We're going to see the ball go back down the other way. Metis looking for the pass, can't quite get it though. Springo back, managing to get the bang and put that one into the corner. Ultimate Duck looking a little bit awkward now, but again manages to maintain control of the ball to an extent.
But not able to finish it. Springo back as well. It's going to play off the backboard. Anyone underneath? Oh no! Everyone was underneath. No one makes contact with the ball. It's actually Springo back who gets back there in time for it. So, play's definitely a little bit sloppier in the second game than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely not what we would usually expect out of UTS on any given week, realistically either. Like we were talking about before, this team almost made it through the playoffs. They were in top 4 contention. So this is not what we expect out of it.
Yeah, but it has potential to get stronger shots on. But Eshen is going to be able to make that save. Haza wants to get that a bit more centered. Although it looks like the rest of this ANU side is going to go back to the defensive line. Springo pack too slow too, and Haza unable to corral it. So AEST keeps it forward, has a shot, puts it on. Duck backflips, but the follow-up shot was not where it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about UTS looking a little bit sloppy, but the other thing I'm a little bit worried about for this ANU side is Ultimate Duck is not seeming too consistent. We saw him really go off in that first game, but the second game is looking a little bit more dangerous. He's missing some of his touches. I'm speaking too soon. I'm gonna zip it. Honestly, ignore me. Don't listen to a word I'm saying. He's incredible. I'm not talking anymore.
Yeah, don't doubt the Duck, because they will put goals across. Late goal, 1-0 game now, completely different game than our first one, where we go 5-4, now only 1-0 with 1:20 remaining. ANU, though, if they can hold on to this lead, that will put them 2-0 in this series with a chance then to improve their seeding if they win this one out and get the easier matchup in the Open Series.
Oh, definitely would be in their favour. But this game, it's looking like we're going to go to match point for ANU. I think at this point, Formal UTS are just not playing at their best. ANU, on the other hand, are performing incredibly.
They are.
I think all three players are managing to gel really well right now. They've had their fair share of misses, as any team does, but they're just, the synergy amongst this roster is really good right now.
It has been, and I want to see that continue. Here we go, 30 seconds remaining. Greasy swings and misses. Ball falls back. Greasy, second touch, gets a bit more centered. Ultimate ducks up over the top of one. Haza gets bumped, but still fights their way to the ball. Nearly turns it into a shot. Defense holds strong. Next shot as well gets saved by Greasy.
That would have been a crazy goal if hasn't managed to bully his way into that one. Ultimate duck on that shot before, also couldn't follow it up himself because he was low on boost. But in saying that, Hazza in great positioning here to secure another goal for ANU and put UTS on the back foot with 8 seconds left.
That was a good goal. This is a great position right now for the ANU side. Up 2-0, both in this game and going to be in this series as well, as time will eventually whittle away. It's going to be a massive advantage to the blue side. ANU, they have come to play here in the last game of the season.
Absolutely. Taking UTS to match point. ANU seeking a sweep tonight is huge. And like we said before, the worry for ANU is that they come out of the gate strong and then lose their momentum late in a series. So we've seen this before. We've been on match point before. We've been on a sweep potential before for ANU, and they've managed to let it slip out of their hands. Are we going to see a repeat of that tonight? I don't know.
All right, well, we will see. There we go, as we get ready to get geared up into game number 3. UTS lose game 1 in a heartbreaking 0-second goal. Leaves game 2 being shut out. We were complimenting this team's mental before. Now is when we're really going to have to see it here, Morky. Now is where they're going to have to step up and try to put this win away. On a night where they've already missed out on the playoffs in a game outside of their control, how much motivation is still there? Can they make the reverse sweep happen?
Yeah, I think that's definitely playing into it, Formal. I think that disappointment would be on their minds. There's less to play for tonight. Essentially, if they're not in the with the chance to make playoffs, there would be a lot more pressure if UT had won earlier, and if this was playoffs.
Yeah, it'd be a different kind of pressure for sure, but a more welcome one.
Yes, of course. But if they were in this position right now on match point with that in the back of their minds, it would be quite devastating.
It would be pretty devastating still, though. ANU, they want to put this one. They'd love to end with a win as well. Ball off the backward, an open net. No, Greasy was still there. I saw the demos. I thought there was a chance. How Greasy was able to find that ball is beyond me.
Managed to keep his cool, that's for sure, and managing to take a shot down the other end as well, but Metis there to get the save. Ultimate duck in the air as well, gets the flip reset, gets it over one, going for the demo,
no.
Hazard gets the flick, just goes a little bit too high, and Metis with the follow-up, scores for ANU.
Metis might be the most consistent cleanup striker in this league. It feels like everyone in Metis' goal is always when after everyone commits like crazy, and he'll just sit back, wait for the gap to open up, and just slot it in. Patient striker, but an accurate one, and that's exactly what ANU needs.
Oh, absolutely. He has been clinical for this side, and like you said, that real cleanup player, that real cleanup god for this ANU side, playing really, really well from a really, really integral part of this roster as well. Putting ANU up by a goal is huge on match point.
Was Metis supposed to be the sub as well? Like, that's what I've never understood, because I feel like Metis, it was supposed to be the sub for this team, but I feel has the most synergy with everyone on the squad and realistically should have been a starter.
Well, I think ultimately it comes down to, like, unfortunately, I think life can get in the way, and, you know, it's not always coming down to whoever the stronger players on the roster are, or whoever the most synergy is with. Especially in a uni league where there's, you know, you got classes, you got a part-time job, you got whatever else you need to manage. It is hard for a lot of these players, but I do tend to agree he is really clinical to this roster.
I think your his part-time job has been casting for AEL, so I'm sure.
Oh, sub me in, Metas, take my spot. Let me play. I want to play.
Which team would you want to play for? As Hass's going to make this 2-0.
Oh, that's tricky. Oh, that's really... Am I just subbing in for one game, or is it an entire season?
Subbing in for one series. Who do you want to play for? Who do you want to play against?
Ooh, look, for multiple reasons, I would say UOM because I'm a Melbourne girl, because Melbourne represent, and I like a challenge pool. I would like to be put on the back foot, and, you know, ultimately it's not the pressure of playoffs on the line, but it's the pressure of causing an upset and getting that chaos. We've said chaos. I've said it 1,000 times tonight. I love chaos.
So you want to be UOM against University of New South Wales?
Oh, no, I don't know about you.
I mean, you want the challenge, right? There it is, right there in front of you.
Okay, I want a challenge that I know that I've got potential in. I don't think I can take on Tara Stephen Diggs personally.
How about this? I'll then go on the University of New South Wales against your UOM because I just need to be carried to a win. So.
Okay, no, I'll take that. You and me, formal. Pick a side.
There you go. I mean, that just turns into a 2v3. But I like my odds because I got Steve and Tanagane. Anyways, as this game continues on, 2 minutes remaining here. Still, UTS side that unfortunately hasn't had any venom to their bite here tonight. Haven't really been able to put much together. Only 2 recorded shots coming into the end of this one. It's just been very dominated by ANU, as they might get something here. Ringo Pack, not going to get it.
It is definitely that combination of ANU. Just they are playing out of their minds tonight, like they were 2 weeks ago. This is just a repeat of that synergy of that play for them, but also UTS. Not like some of the play has been sloppy, but there's also been a few shots that have just been unlucky, that have just gone a millimeter too high, a millimeter too wide, and they're just not sinking tonight.
Also, I'm changing my answer. I want to play for UON. I just remembered. They already want me on their team. They were already trying to recruit me before. May as well reward them for that.
Actually, UON's a good call. I want Storm as my coach. I'll take Storm as a coach any day.
All right, UON, take us home. Here we go, though. 48 seconds remaining in this one. As we are going to see Ascent go opposite corner. Ultimate Duck underneath. Gets across that midfield line. But, again, not seeing it from this UTS side. I think a little bit morally crushed coming into this one. They are going to finish the season with the 3-4 record. ANU is going to finish on a high going into the Open Series, where, who knows, maybe these 2 teams will play again. But for now, it's going to be a victory to the blue side, 3-0 for ANU.
Definitely would be a fun rematch to get to experience, that's for sure, for either of these sides. But yeah, massive props to ANU. They have played incredibly and are so deserving of this win tonight.
They're going to put in another goal now. Should be worth noting, because UCID did win against ANU. ANU still will be sitting in that 7th seed, unfortunately for them. But, you know, it's all about carrying momentum for the future as they get one more goal just to add to said momentum. Which also does mean, for sure, locking in 5th place will be the UPS side. Ball doesn't hit the ground just yet. Eventually, Duck will drop it down. So ANU put forth their best performance to end off the regular season. They'll get the series victory, a clean sweep. And I'm still giving MVP to Ultimate Duck just for that one pass.
No, I have to agree with you. I feel like that was the meckiest play we saw out of that. Although, I think
Metis is good too.
No, I was gonna say Hazard. I feel like
Oh.
Hazard came out with a couple of real banger shots, a couple of power shots, that shot off the roof as well with the delayed flip. Like that was really classic as well.
You know, I think all three of them stepped up today, and
Yeah.
this is the ANU team when they don't get in their own heads, right? When they don't let the pressure get to them, they have the potential to be this strong squad. It's just a little bit unfortunate that we didn't get to see too much of it till literally the last game of the season when they're already knocked out.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, there's always next season. There's always the opens as well. And yeah, I do have to say, I really do like this roster. I think when they're on Metis, Ultimate Dark, Hazard, and Shelby as well. They're a really solid roster, and I'm excited to see where they go.
Well, I'm going to be excited to have a word with Metis as well. So let's bring him on very, very soon. I believe, and have a chat below. I jumped the gun a little bit. Jumped the gun a little bit. Got a little too excited because I saw a happy little mouse circling his name. But yeah, we'll have a word with Metis very, very soon. But before we do that, why don't we thank our wonderful sponsors for, putting this entire great season together?
Of course, we have two incredible sponsors that we would like to thank tonight and that we'd like to thank every night because they managed to help us put this together. We have AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And of course, well, if you're hungry, we have Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. Formal, I have a feeling you are glad we have Indomie as our partner, a noodle partner instead of a hot chip partner. So, Formal's a big fan.
Yeah, I am a fan. I'm very much a fan, but I'm also a fan of this team and this player in particular. Metis now ready to join us on cast. Metis, season comes to its conclusion, and I'm going to call you guys out right now because you've been registered as a sub for this team. But as I said in the broadcast, I think you are probably the most consistent player, especially when it comes to cleaning up and securing goals. When are you going to get on the starting roster? Because I think you've earned that spot this season.
Well, I wasn't meant to be, I came into the season, I told everyone I don't have any hours in the game. I'm fully devoted to university this semester, so I knew I wasn't going to be all that consistent. The way things worked out, I got a couple more games than I was really expecting. I think I played all but 2 games, I think, this season. But yeah, I mean, as far as games go, that's my last elite game. I graduate at the end of this semester, so it. It's done for me. But it's been a lot of fun. So it's and getting to end on a win is pretty good.
I mean, before season finishes up, you guys do have your opportunity down in the opens as well. Are we going to be seeing more of you in that?
Yeah. I'll see if I can play the opens if I'm around. So yeah, we'll try and make as big a run as we can make in the opens. I think last time we had a good run, we ended it by beating UCID to make it to the grand finals down there. So it'd be nice to do that again and have a good run as well.
So if this is then the end of your Elite Series career, I have to ask though, will we still be seeing you in the booth, maybe casting more of the high school series as well into the future? I imagine we're not done with you here at AEL.
Yeah, I think you'll definitely see me casting some high school stuff probably down the line. But yeah, right now, very busy person doing complicated math courses that I really do not want to understand. So that's okay. My life right now. So yeah.
Fair enough, but I have to then ask though, are those complicated math problems then helpful in the game so you can calculate what exactly Ultimate Duck is doing and where he's going to place the ball? You know which goal I'm referring to, the sort of double touch reset out of the corner where then you wound up in the perfect place to secure that one, or maybe the 0-second goal. Was I referring to that one as well? How are you able to connect so well with him?
You just when Duck is on the ball, just know that he's gonna get at least 1 touch, if not probably 3 or 4 touches. So you just kind of lurk around that's I think the way both me and Hazard play. We both kind of lurk around, waiting to see our moment, waiting to see when's that little chance, maybe we get a bump, maybe we get a shot, what can we do? And we try to make what we can out of what Duck gives us, and sometimes he gives us stuff like that where he's just getting like 5-6 touches in front of the goal, and all you can do is just slot the ball in the goal and make it all work out. So it's really awesome to play with him.
I think he definitely does bait players out of defense well with, that amount of touches. No one knows when to challenge him. He's an incredible player. He's a mechie player, but you guys really do have that synergy with him as well. So I think you're very well balanced as a team. So it'll be sad to see you go out of the AEL, out of this series, out of this tournament. Do you have, aside from being busy, once the exams are over, once you're all finished up with uni, are there any other plans for Rocket League? Any other competitive plans?
Competitive plans? Probably not. I would say just playing with my friends. That's probably the extent of my Rocket League competition career. I think I'm heading to PAX in the next, week or two. So that'll be a Rocket League thing. But yeah, apart from that, not much besides casting, I guess, is probably the go.
We'll have to queue up some 6-mans again and get Formal to cast it, maybe.
Maybe
I want to play.
I haven't played 6-man in so long.
Yeah, you two need to duo up. Morgie's been just complaining about how much she wants to play and how she wants to wreck all these intervarsity teams. So duo up.
I never said that one. No. Don't you put words in my mouth. It's just casting every Wednesday night. I haven't been putting the hours in either, but every time I jump on for casting, I sit here and I'm just like, I want to play. I really want to pick up my controller. At the warm up at the start, I'll jump in and the players jump in. I'm like, I need to hock out of the game now, and I need to get back.
Where's the caster versus AEL teams? Show match
tournament.
Please,
please.
Formal would just destroy everyone.
Yeah, production is saying no, and I'm agreeing with production on that. All right, it's not happening. You're not getting me on the.
No, come on.
In fact, you know what? Production's also saying it's time to wrap this interview up. Okay, look, it's been fantastic. Love having you in the Elite Series, but no, suggesting I'm playing. You're out of here. Goodbye, bud. Obviously, great having you. Fantastic season. I think individually it was the strongest you looked, and it was a joy casting your game.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Morgie.
Thanks, Metis.
There we go. So that was Metis. Again, we'll be seeing more of him in the future. And Morgie, I hate to do this to you, but when we have sponsors as wonderful as we do, we got to thank them twice.
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything less. And as we've said tonight, guys, if you're in the shop for a monitor, if you're a little bit hungry, we've got 2 partners you can go directly to for both of those needs. Of course, we have AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And of course, Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or, of course, at indomie.com.au.
Big shout out. Big thank you for them. Look, our season has come to its end, Morgie, and final day, a lot of clean sweeps. And the season started off so good with every series going long, a lot of game 5s, game 4s. And then it felt like these past couple weeks, it's a bit all about the 3-0s, but that tends to happen. The important match was that first and that third one. QUT gets into the playoffs over UCID, and of course, New South Wales with their win over UON, the number 1 seed on the table.
Absolutely, and sorry to slightly sidetrack, but just on that, I didn't notice this earlier, but we had all of our blue sides win tonight, and it was almost 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, all the blue. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But here is our ladder, ladies and gentlemen. Here are our standings. We have UNSW sitting in that first seed. UON, Griffith, and QUT also making the playoffs. Unfortunately, our bottom 4 there are going to drop down to the Opens. But here's how our playoffs are looking for. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, I am too as well. And in 2 weeks' time, we're going to see these playoffs kind of kick off in almost the best way possible. It's going to be a semi-final day. New South Wales QUT will be the first match, then UON and Griffith. Following that, grand final day in 3 weeks' time, where we'll also be streaming our third place match as well. 9 p.m. AEST, though, so remember the time on that, because something tells me we're going to be dipping into the Open Series as well on that day. Look, it's going to be a fun playoff bracket. These top 4 teams, all of them have been exciting to watch. New South Wales, though, they still are that top team.
Yeah, of course, and that is going to be tricky for QUT. That is not the team they wanted to come up against first off, so that will be a hard ask. But looking at the other side of that bracket, UON and Griffith, I think that's going to be a really tight series. It will be really telltale of our standings and how true they are as well. So I'm excited for both of those, and of course going into the grand final as well. There's always a lot of celebration there. There's always a lot of energy, and I am very, very keen.
I'm keen for it as well, and we have to wait 2 weeks until that journey kicks off. Thank you all for joining us here. Again, it's been another fantastic season, and with only 2 weeks away, do make sure you tune back in to watch along. Also, make sure to follow AEL on all of its socials to stay up to date with everything that is going down. Again, into the end of terms, it's not just the Rocket League playoffs. All the playoffs are happening this time of year. So we look forward to seeing you then. We look forward for seeing you in 2 weeks' time. Have a great night, everybody.